here from the chart is that you have 2 days in a row to the downside, but that breakout, I think it's only a matter of time until we start to see this name really recover. Why? Because if you're at the bottom of the barrel, Sharif, right now, and I think that's what Copilot lays in, same thing with whatever Meta's kicked out there, there's really only one way you can go, especially with this type of money that these guys are spending and with Azure. I think there's a lot more topside here because we talk about the leapfrog aspect between all of these AI tools and agentic tools. I think at some point you're going to start to see Copilot climb the ranks. Could I be wrong? Does anybody use it? No, not really. But with that being said, this major company, still sitting in that 4th or 5th spot from a market cap standpoint, has the ability to spend the money and really climb these ranks. So I like where we're sitting and from a laggard standpoint in Microsoft because we're not going to put Azure and we're not going to kick Azure to the curb.
Great point. All right, let's look at some of the trades over here that are still going. We're going to send it over to the big boys shortly. Katina Man's back in the house. Guys, DXST, one to watch. It's trying to reclaim 450, but this is the monster. ASTC, $59 high. Believe it or not, despite the spread and despite the volatility, look how respectful that trend is, especially with the 10 EMA. Nary a breach. The only breach you got in the last hour and a half is that one at 135, continuing to go. ASTC, watch out for that one, as well as LASE. What a move this one was into 228. We were counting this one out. It was all dead and buried when it lost $2. Here it comes again into 195, looking for 296, 97. Be on the lookout here. LASE could be the one going into the afternoon. Last but not least, GPUS, GPUS, 2581. It took out the pre-market high at 25 and change. This one is also quite respectful of trend. It does have a tendency to breach trend, though. At times, look at that 1245 dip. But other than that, for the most part, it's generally higher highs and higher lows. GPUS, one to keep an eye out for the small cap gapper inclined into the afternoon. Send them off, Joey.
Yeah, hope everyone has a fantastic Tuesday. The boys are getting ready to rock and roll, display some trades. It's nice out here. It's just me and the little pup this week, so we're gonna get outside.
Where'd she go again, man? Did she just go?
Workout. Yeah, she got a. Oh, brother, I'm just saying. Yeah, did go. I'm not type of go do what you want because when it's time to do what I want,
you're gonna take full advantage. But she was gone for like a week and a half. 2 weeks almost last time.
Yeah, work thing. But it doesn't matter, buddy. We got it going because when I'm like, hey, me and the lads are going somewhere, I don't want to hear a peep, my bro. Oh,
did you hear that, Ram Ram? Did you hear that, Ram Ram?
I don't want to hear a peep. Ramin, do you give a hard time or what?
Well, whoa! Of course she gives a hard time. Look at her, bro. You kidding me?
That's crazy. I'm in my peace.
Actually, she's a great girl.
You said you're sleeping in the doghouse.
She is.
You said you're sleeping in the doghouse.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, you're good with that?
Dude, you don't even...
You and Milo, huh?
Yeah, that's all. I'm telling you, man. Just me and the boy. That we just run. I don't get bothered or anything like that. I'm in my peace. Is she gone on the weekend
as well?
No.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's all right. All right, man. Great seeing everybody. We'll see everybody. Same bat time, same bat channel. Take it over, big boys.
All right.
Probably not a topic we're going to be on.
But what was the topic again? Oh, yeah, now listen to your wife or whatever?
Give you a hard time for stepping out. Yeah, all the times I'm out in the streets, just liming like back.
Yeah, I'm always stepping out. No,
well, you're stepping out. We got baseball practice.
Yeah, that's where I'm stepping out.
Drop off to guides.
I gotta go. I can step out to the library.
Yeah, maybe hit the store.
Pick up some like Dora the Explorers.
Get some shopping done. You know
all that kind of stuff.
Straight up.
Get the groceries my wife tells me to get.
Now that's that hook.
Yeah, shout out to Farm Boy.
Yo. And watch when I pick what I want. I don't have to get the whole list. You want to talk about a list?
You want to talk about veal meatballs?
I'm going to add some things to the list and see what you got to say about that.
I gain the veal. Oh, yeah. I'm getting the veal all day, actually. So, yeah, no, but...
old man.
Yeah, we do lots of stuff over here.
But if you forget the milk, let's see in the chat, you can't forget the milk when you get the groceries.
Oh, don't forget the milk, yeah.
Nah, because that's
yeah, no, you don't want to do that, or the cream. Marissa gets mad if she doesn't have cream for the coffee. You know what I'm saying?
See, I don't use cream for the coffee, but
no, neither do I.
Same way.
Neither do I. I just it's just like, oh, we don't have any cream today, so I gotta step out. You know, that's the stepping out.
God forbid if you say put some milk in it.
That's the stepping out we're talking about.
Put what?
Right over here.
What did you say?
What's up, other Zinc and everybody else in the chat? We're glad you guys are enjoying your time with us here today. And it's about to get going here into the afternoon show. So, yeah, we come back with the market kind of just dancing around a little bit here. The NASDAQ, you know, made its move to the high side there, 30,750. Now you're starting to fade out a little bit. We'll see if we can grab that VWAP just a little bit here. I'm still like kind of feeling some kind of ways here because this was ridiculous. I got caught up in shorting this Google, and I looked back after it, and I was like, what exactly am I even doing right now? Yo, what's up to whatever that was, CFL. Our Google was that says 273. That's 372 to 373 short. So, you know, like I didn't follow my own rules right there. This is like I punched out basically 25 cents higher than the written level that I had when I'm here holding it for like $1 against me and so on and so forth. So that should have been held. Like we basically called out on our note the exact top of Google. And that was crazy because it went from 358 all the way to 373. So just not focused enough. And I'm kind of beside myself on that one. We made a little bit of money back with that. Video was good, long until it broke out. So that was okay. Shorted the TQs right off the jump. You guys saw me doing that. That was really wicked early and not so wicked late. Wicked awesome. And then that was about it for me today. Google, Intel, NVIDIA, TQs, and a little bit of AMD, but nothing to write home about right there. All right, we're going to go over to Neil and see what he's talking about.
We're going to write home about some updates out of Origenics, everybody. That's ticker OGEN on the NYSE American. The company has now activated its Phase 2A clinical trial in Australia, with its first site fully operational and patient dosing expected next. They're developing ONP-002, an intranasal treatment targeting concussion and mild traumatic brain injury, an area where there are currently no FDA-approved therapies. Alongside that, Origenics has spent the past year strengthening its balance sheet, raising capital, resolving liabilities, and restoring exchange compliance. The focus now shifts to execution. With clinical progress underway and additional CNS assets under evaluation, OGEN, you can find them on the NYSE American. And it got hinted to, but we're setting up these, they're called shotgun mics, but
yeah,
I had just testing some sound stuff out. So I feel like we want to step up and like drop a beat into it. See these? See that? You guys can see
they're all the way up there.
So that's how we're rolling. Always trying to like improve a few things. But someone
improve, eh?
We dropped the Bitcoin, IBIT, ETH. Looking for, so by the way, this breakdown, there's a little trend line that's pointed to 3 times. I want to try and grab the reload next time it comes up to the trend line here on IBIT and just to reload this one to the south side. But if you're looking at what is not working today, like the NASDAQ's slightly up and kind of trending higher. ETH down 4 points. You already saw you've seen BM&R from this morning. MSTR, MicroStrategy, down 8.5%. All while, again, flat-ish to slightly update for the markets. Hate that wick, but Apple 3% to the upside. Like it's a relatively
Apple's new all-time
good
high.
day. Yeah, this is it? Yeah. Yes. Well, is it?
That's what I heard Sharif say.
Yeah, it's really.
Yeah. 315
really
was.
close.
315.
Well, so it got there. Looks like it just slightly pulled back, but basically, yeah, tagged an all-time high because that's what Apple does. So there's a lot of strength, but crypto ain't it. Crypto is in a definitive bear market. Bear market. What am I talking about?
I mean, here's
a bear market's 20% off of the highs. What's the word? Why don't we?
Bruh.
We have something for 10%. It's correction.
Bruh.
We got something for 20%. It's a bear market. What happens at 40 and 50? We don't have a word for that.
40, 50 years old.
Well, no, I mean, just there should be something for 40% down from the highs or 50% from the highs. Like, I don't know. Like, you can't call it a haircut, because that's too much. It needs something. It's got to be something worse than a bear market, and then we can give. And then that's what basically that's what crypto is doing. Crypto winter, I know, but that's specific. Like I want to be able to call other stuff like that same name that's not crypto market. Rabid bear market, that one's fair. Whatever it was, great one there, Carl. Whatever it is, Virgin Galactic did that today on its own in one day, 38% down. Well, see, that's the good news is at least Bitcoin takes a long time to lose 40%. It does it, but at least it takes a while. Virgin Galactic, hold my beer. We're going to do this in one day. Hang on. We got this.
I think that's the difference when we talk about like investing in something versus trading something, right? I mean, Apple is a clear investment for many people, and we saw that we like to trade it on the show, but a little bit of a different story. And you know, here we go. This is MicroStrategy. I mean, we can talk about Bitcoin all day here, but it's really what started this whole thing down was a little lack of confidence here by Michael Saylor, and yeah, he sent this really reeling to the downside. You know, we actually had a nice little run up into 180 or into 80 for Bitcoin, which gave us 180, 190. Now you're down to 136. So, you know, if you think Bitcoin is in a little bit of a problem, I mean, MicroStrategy itself is 27% in a couple weeks. So, you know, that's not a great move there. But you are coming into levels like we talked. I mean, I talked about this before. You know, if you like Bitcoin or I guess Bitcoin, yeah, then you got to look at this level because this is where we bounced pretty nicely off twice. You know, so that's about 62, 63, 64, 65,000, something like that. And then bounce nicely off of it too. So if you were somewhat disciplined, I think you could have had this pretty decently there for MSTR. So, you know, you always want to try to take risks with trading, but you know, some of them aren't necessarily the right ones at the right time. Is MicroStrategy the right risk right now? I would say it probably is if we can get into 120, you know, and then it's worth it. Maybe even into that blowout level of 100, you know, give yourself 20% for a great opportunity to make 50%. I don't know. I think it's something to think about for those of you looking at the crypto market. So, all right, I'm trying again right now, and you know, obviously, you know, I go short and the market does this. I mean, we could sit around and not do anything and stay out of the market, which maybe is the right thing to do. I was shorting this thing, basically VWAP right down here. We had the 21 period, we had VWAP, and we have the 50 period moving average all dancing right now at these levels. And then, you know, the 5-minute chart on Intel was looking lower here as well with a little bit of a barcode action going on. So I was thinking, you know, the short was coming through. I'm only going to give it to 107.20. We're not going to give it all the way up here to 107.50, but there we go, man. I mean, we got stopped out probably too early, as I just showed you on Google, and we'll see what's going to happen here with Intel. So that's something that I'm trying to see about, so we'll have to wait, see about it, what's going on with Intel. So, yeah, I'm looking at that right now as a short. Anything else you guys are doing, please, you know, let us know. I'm going to refresh some of the scanners. This is a small cap
going ham that everyone is talking about.
Okay, I see that, yeah.
It's this LASE, L-A-S-E. There we go. Laser photonics. I feel like you should do like the
lasers.
Freaking lasers on it. 135%. Obviously, I know this was talked about in the midday show because I actually heard them say it a couple times. If you are zooming out, I'm not saying it's at a top, but it is at a pretty significant level as far as these stocks have levels. This 2 to 225 was an area of support before. It's also the 200 period moving average. That's one way to trade something from the 50 period moving average to the 200 period moving average. Hold at $1. The break is literally break $1 from the 50 period and go to $2 at the 200 period moving average. Technically, that's about as cool as it gets. But these ones early on, if you can find these, and if you got your scanners going, if you're a small cap trader, this might not be the best example because look how crazy it went there at 12.12. Like it does a bigger volume spike in the afternoon, but oftentimes if you can just get it early when it's breaking out the dollar, we don't really have a lot of times. Whoa! I'm testing one.
Okay, here we go.
That I was looking at, and another trader kind of sent to me. We'll all be looking at more of these small cappers pre-market and be able to pick them up. For you guys, at least to talk about them. Because if this one didn't hit the radar, it was Picard that we were looking at this morning, and I don't remember Lays being on our radar when we started the show, but a fantastic one in there. The only thing I'm currently looking at is, I'm gonna redraw this again. Dang it. All right. Is this trend, I'm just going from the breakdown. So this breakdown was like 68K or whatever it was. So looking for this trend to get retested. We're getting pretty close for a reload here on IBIT. Just got to push a little bit higher. Might just get out in front of it. It'll be in about the mid-20s here. So trying to grab a reload on trend as this continues to look pretty weak. And you know what? It's not the only thing this week. NVIDIA's looked a little bit weak here. Hewlett-Packard. This is not the dip that I thought that it would make its bottom and hold, and then you get some higher lows to work off of, and then you do the rebound play like Dell did. It just never did. It made a bottom and then couldn't hold any higher lows. It's still looking weak. But there might be something at this low, the 50. It's now starting to round out and break out a little bit. So I'm going to have this one on the radar. I thought this would do it way earlier in the day. Like Marvell did it too early. Hewlett-Packard hasn't even gone yet, even to VWAP. But this is looking a little more constructed. Maybe a 55 break on HPE. And give it the half buck and see how far it can go. 16% up, great numbers, but the profit takers have been a little out of hand all day.
I was going to say, all of a sudden, excuse me, Intel just went for a run like crazy there, like pops through 107. So, you know, we're getting close to that 107.30 level where we're going to have to stop out. So I don't know, like, just frustrating because I thought this level was going to hold there and it just pops right through. So now we got to just sort of hold our breath a little bit and see how much further this name wants to rip through some of these levels. 107 and change right now for Intel as it just continues to go higher and higher right there. But very similarly, we're just day trading here. That's fine. But we're actually really happy with what Marvell was doing. Marvell actually hit a 30% up marker here, as Jensen has called 500% from here. So we'll wait to see, I guess 400%, get this name up to the 1 trillion club. Will that happen? I don't know, but I'm hoping so. But there goes Marvell again today, basically at its day's high, holding out. I mean, it hasn't even seen the 200 period since the open. And right now we're dancing with it here. So maybe we do get a little bit of a turn in this market here on Marvell soon, if it does take that. But, you know, a name that's upside, don't really want to short names that are doing what they're doing. And this is why I thought about Intel, down 2%. Thought maybe if this market did want to fall back in, Intel would, but it is not doing that at all. So we're a couple pennies away now from getting that stop out, unfortunately, on Intel. ARM had a day today too, man. Went up to 430 again. That was brand new all-time highs for ARM today. And, you know, a lot of these names in this space have really got going. The all-time high used to be 421.60. And now, you know, for make a new one today at whatever this high is, 428 right on the knot. So, you know, that's, again, another name that's fallen back into VWAP, possibly looking for a long somewhere around here right now for ARM. Yeah, that LAES.
Profit takers are taking, like, once ARM starts to fall, like, there's only been extremes. There's no in between with this thing.
Right.
Ain't no half stepping. Like, it's either, like, you get these parabolic moves, it was just like it's going ham and it's $10, $20, $30. And when it finds a top, I mean, the sellers can get in control. But for the most part, there's only been like 1 or 2 like inside days on this stock in the last 15. I don't wonder if it's not getting top heavy, man. There's only so much that you can go parabolic with. HP did make the 55 break, so the prior bar is just a little bit less than the $0.50, so that's where the stop is going to be. We have a super chat from Mexican Boy.
Okay.
I have one call in NVIDIA, 227.47, expiring tomorrow. I'm out of the money, and I should have sold when NVIDIA hit 230 today. Tips, I'm a new trader.
Well, expiring tomorrow.
I mean, the best advice that anybody can ever tell you from a risk standpoint, because we're not here to, like, at the end of the day, it's not about giving, like, we don't give financial advice. I can't tell you what to do with your trade. But what I can tell you is that generally, when you get into something, it's like, what means wrong? So, like, the example I'll give is, like, there was a bottoming tail. I'll go to the 3 because the trade was on the 3. There was a nice bottoming tail candle and then an ad looking for a mean reversion on NVIDIA. That, to me, was wrong the second it printed underneath the bottoming tail wick that I was going on. Like, once it happens, I'm out. Because that's what you're risking for that trade, to try to get it to the volume-weighted average price. So I think you have to look at, okay, well, what's the acceptable loss based on your account? And if you've hit that, sometimes you take the L, right? If it's expiring this week, you can certainly, it is what it is. Like, I don't know. Like, we're not here to tell you advice. I just always feel like when someone says I didn't get out of it and now it's coming back, I'm not going to invent a level that you should get out. I just think you always have to predetermine what your exit strategy is going to be, because every trade needs an exit strategy. If you're in a long-term investment, you don't necessarily need one. Like, I can safely say my long-term exit strategy on Apple is I don't know. And it's always been I don't know. And that probably will never change. I can say the same thing about, like, a couple of Canadian banks that I own. But that's not a trade. They're just not trades. You don't ever hear me. You'll hear me say, "Oh, I'm getting a little bit into SMR and I'm taking it to this and in the personal account." But there's always an out if you're making a trade. And if you predetermine that, it makes it a little bit easier to just say, "Okay, well, this got hit. I'm jumping out," and then you don't have to worry about semantics of the rest. Like HPE, like there's see this rounded bottom. It kind of breaks this, takes the even dollar. Like here's the prior bar, and here it's just above the 54.50 mark. So there's the out. That's where I want to give it to. What I would love to see, ideally, is it starts just holding this trend from the bottom, and then it's like scalp out here at the 1-to-1, reload on the trend line, and then the trend line can become the out. Like it can change. I can move my stop from a hard stop at a level to, okay, well, I'm going to use this trend line now that it's respecting the trend, and then just see how far it can go. But that, for me, is going to be a bit of the plan. But my goodness, Apple.
That one's working out today.
It's just a good company.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a good company.
Well, that's what we're always saying. Get invested into good companies, and you should be okay. And,
good one reporting tonight.
Yeah, PanW. Yeah, another good one there too.
Well, I don't want you guys to think that we were talking about GitLab or anything.
No, GitLab, I mean, that might have a space in today's business.
I'm joking. We just always harp on GitLab.
Yeah. Okay. I get it. Yeah, GitLab is a tough one, that's for sure. Jay-Z here, not the rapper, but the stock has halted a bunch of times, 82% today, back and forth. Just one of those, well, speak of the devil. There's the halt right there again on Jay-Z. So just be careful with this if you're trading it. It's not something that we'll be talking about in depth, but I did want to talk about it a little bit because yesterday it was a thing. I am still turned up about this one. Now we're all the way back to VWAP. Every single short that we had on in my most read stock on the day is now in the money, and the market's not even really doing anything. So I feel like we had a great read there on Google, but then didn't follow our own plan. We literally wrote down 373, and I'm panicking as it's going up there and just kept on stopping out and left it, and we should have attacked it again. So shout out to Tony and a couple of you guys in the chat that were able to hit that trade right back into the downside, and good on you there. That was a good one, and I should have basically followed the yellow brick road that I paved for myself, and we should have been on that one. That's so stupid. All right, so DraftKings, I want to talk a little bit about them. I think this is starting to become a little more investable right now, and the reason why is we've had a nice little bump up there off their most recent earnings hold there down in here at $21. You're now starting to see a little bit more regulation, I think, going to be happening into the predictive markets like the Kalshis of the world and the poly markets, and that may bring some more back into DraftKings, right? I mean, right now you're able to basically bet no matter what province, no matter what state you're in, province you're in, if you use Kalshi or Poly Market, but there's some restrictions on DraftKings and FanDuel, right? FanDuel's parent company, Flutter. So, you've been really hit. There goes Intel, boo. Intel takes out the highs. So you've been hit on DraftKings, but doesn't this look like this is a possible breakout here on good news? I don't think they still don't have Texas or California on board or anything. So I think there's a good possibility here to watch out for DraftKings maybe on the high side right now, breaking through. It's down 3% today, so it's not the best time to talk about it, but right into there, I think there's an opportunity for DraftKings and a name where they should be able to use AI to better predict, what people are going to be betting on, and use AI better for their tables of risk and everything. So I don't know. I think DraftKings does have a chance, something that we might want to look at that we don't normally discuss here all the time. Now, Microsoft we're just hearing it in our ear. They're announcing new models and new AI, this and that. So definitely something to talk about maybe with Microsoft now trying to break through some levels, but down another 4% today is Microsoft. I mean, some of these names like Meta, Microsoft, all of that are just way back into the doldrums here again. Meta down to 605 one more time here. All right, well, we just talked a little bit about quantum there with Google.
I thought it was going to be.
Getty, I haven't looked at it today. We can have a quick look. Our GTI. I was
already doing a poll for a different super chat because I thought that's what we're going to put up, but I'll throw that away, and when we get to the next super chat, I've got something for it. Thoughts on Rigetti breakout? Both. So Ion, what was it? Was it IonQ?
The better one? Oh,
it was IonQ that made the bigger break this morning, I think. Oh, same chart. Whatever, same chart. So remember, like all the quantum names got the boost when the government basically said, "Hey, we want quantum to win," and they're still in like a consolidative phase. From that, Rigetti is a great example. Hey, look at that! Like sometimes you look for examples of a bull flag and it's not perfectly clean. This is pretty clean. That's a pretty clean bull flag. So you're looking at 28 breakout if and when it does it, support at the 200 period moving average. I don't see anything, like it's a pretty standard setup. You can make you should always, excuse me, well, usually when you want to look at things like this, it's like, well, you know they're all going, so look at just look throughout the group and see what might be better. Like IonQ's in here, that's more of a trend up. So you probably have a clean break trade if you like that on Rigetti, if that's your cup of tea, or you have a trend follow here on IonQ. Like there's always a different, again, just something for each person. If you like breakouts, then Rigetti's your setup. If you like dip buys, then just buy the dip on trend on IonQ if you happen to like these bad boys. The one I liked is in the nuclear space because like this break is finally happening on SMR. It took forever. And that's the super chat I wanted to get to because I actually had this, oh, where'd it go? Oh no. Now I actually have to find what I was looking for. No, I had the poll set up somewhere. Where is it? Oh, the custom poll. Here we go. We're going to do a custom poll for this Marvell thing. I have to find what silly page I had it on. There you go. That's what happens when you use multiple desktops. Can't Get Right. Great name. Great character. Can't Get Right was from the movie Life. Oh, no. All right. Before I do that, got to show that HPE because Hewlett-Packard attempted the break. But there's that prior bar. Remember we had the question about like where your out is going to be? I'm taking the break of this candle. I'm giving it to the prior of that. That's my defined risk. I mean, obviously, if it goes all the way to VWAP, that's fantastic. But you know, you're going to scale out in front of it. But you know what you're doing going into the trade. So simple question. I'll just start the voting in a second after I actually get the options up because it's literally yes or no. So will Marvell get to 300 this week? That was a super chat. Let's see what everyone else thinks. Was it 290? If you're at 290 with that kind of momentum, I'm usually thinking yes.
By this week?
It's end of the week. It didn't say today, right? Well, that's what the super chat said. I mean, literally what the super chat said. It said this week, so I'm putting this week.
I'm saying tomorrow.
It's at 285
It is today.
and was at 255 at the low. If it had been, if you had said by the end of the day today, I think maybe we'd have a little bit of a discussion. Because you've said at the end of this week, this is what the chart looks like. I mean, gravity toward major strikes. All it has to do is touch without holding. I don't know, I'll type the one on that. Like what would you bet at that kind of momentum? All you need is like a nudge. It's like, just tap it in. Tappy, tap, tap, tap.
Right, just tap it in. There, Happy Gilmore 2 was okay. All right, so there it is, man. We
The second one?
just went right back. Happy Gilmore?
It's not the first one?
Of course there's two. Oh, no, that one's from the second one.
Yeah.
Okay. For sure. And there it is here to the downside now. The second one was okay. That's what I was saying. It wasn't that great. So we finally shorted Google. Meanwhile, we are, as Neil was just talking about that, we are now 65 cents in the money. So we did lose out on our Intel trade, and then that stopped me out and right there. So that kind of sucks. But here goes Google now. Wow. I just feel like, I can't believe it always happens, man. We had the right stock, but not the right execution, and stupid me not paying enough attention to that trade. But all right, I'm gonna take another piece out here and just stop worrying about it. Bid 87s, take a piece out here at 87 for 75 cents, or so for 65 cents. We'll see if we can get that bid right now on Google. My best fill is exactly that, and there it is. We just take that again. We got some 90s. Okay, Google. What the hell? Well. I mean, starting to go now. Okay, so there goes Google. Yeah, just weak. So making moves down. I don't know if this has something to do with Microsoft or what, but we are starting to get down to the downside there for Google. So here we go, man. $300.48. You're now in the money now, $1.20, and we just put this on. Again, it was a break of VWAP. I missed it because I was like lamenting in that Intel, and then just questioning the meaning of life. And then all of a sudden, there's the breakdown through VWAP. We like the name short today. We talked about that. It was the number one trade idea was actually the short that we got out of, which is the craziest thing. But now we're back into Google, and there it goes, breaking lower. So see ya on that one as Google making new lows right now, not of the day. We'll see if we can get into 360. I'm not too sure if that's what's going to happen, but good coverage there. We're out of 30%. I'm going to take another bid right now just to lighten the load a little bit here in case there's something going on, because the volume isn't like it's extraordinary, but the moves are actually happening now. So we'll wait to see what the story is with Google, but it's a nice move down for now anyways, as we continue to watch out for Google. There it is, right back upside again. So a couple good covers there. We got to go over to Adair and maybe some news.
I'm not seeing anything on Google, Sean, but I do have some news related to Microsoft build specifically for DNA. This is Ginkgo Bioworks. It's a small cap stock that has rallied pretty frequently here in the past. DNA on the move here after announcing a partnership with Microsoft, Ginkgo Bioworks and Microsoft to collaborate on bringing agentic AI into biological discovery. That's the reason for this move. I also have more here coming out of Microsoft build, which is still happening. An executive from the company announcing that Microsoft's reasoning AI model was co-developed on its in-house chips. So Microsoft's reasoning model co-developed on its own in-house chips. Back to you.
Ask Adara.
Adara?
There must be stories on some of these exchanges.
Well, I'm going to pull up
Which?
3 charts. CBO, this is a CBOE, the 3 exchanges.
Oh, yeah, I have something.
CBOE, and then we talk about the Intercontinental Exchange, that's
stuff.
ICE, and then one more, and then we'll throw it there. This is what ICE looks like. The CME exchange in the last couple of sessions has been getting absolutely smoked. You look at these on a long term, it's basically like they're the casino, you just buy them. But they've been getting smoked lately.
Mm-hmm. So I cannot prove that this is why, because the names that this would more obviously be about actually haven't moved. But President Trump issuing a characteristically lengthy Truth Social post this time about, I guess, signing a new executive order, which will be led by the Treasury to stop banks, credit cards, and financial institutions from being used to facilitate a whole bunch of things I probably can't say without getting us demonetized. Basically saying that access to the nation's financial systems must be limited to those who have, quote, a legal right to be here. So nothing massive, but only thing in the financial space that I'm kind of seeing that could be of note here in terms of the actual exchanges. I have not seen anything, and I went back in terms of like what happened while I was eating lunch. Still nothing.
It might be something.
Yeah, I don't know. I look at these, and when you zoom out far enough, the one that's, I think it was CBOE is the one that's standing out to me the most. Like, that is wild.
I looked at NDAQ.
That's wild. NASDAQ. Even just for like to go 370 to the 200-period moving average, that's a monster drop. You're talking over 20%. Like, that's over 20%. Like, it's over almost 30%. Like, that's insane. It's insanity. I don't wonder if there's not a little bit of a dip by it, but there was a question in the chat. Someone just said, do you ever take a breakout? If it fails taking a breakout twice, yeah, sometimes, 100%. Like there's always a situation where like you like it the first time, you take a shot at it, and if it sets up just as good, I don't like the fact that the volume isn't increasing. Like it wasn't, like there was no, like the volume's actually lower on the second break, but there can be situations where that's the case, where it doesn't work the first time, you grab it a second time. There was a similar thing for this like attempted like little trend break at the bottom of Nokia. It doesn't get going. Then it goes actually strong on the second trend break through VWAPs. I'm like, oh, this is stronger. Let's jump back into this and actually get a worse price. So there are situations like that. A lot of times I prefer to join a little bit higher up there if I can. Now we're gonna go back over to Adara again.
So in social media, there's nothing like immediate for any of these CBOE, CME type names, but people are saying this could be a bit of a longer term sentiment issue with Coinbase and Kalshi both announcing recently that they're planning on releasing their own perpetual futures. So this could just be a competition thing with perpetual futures. Now we know, I believe CME yesterday at the close making their own announcement here with crypto. So they're still fighting back, but either way, there is some suggestion specifically in social media that the move down in these names as of late could have to do with competition from the likes of Coinbase and Kalshi. Back to you.
Amazing, Kalshi. Those guys are disrupting everything. We just talked about DraftKings and Flutter and all that, but we got a good trade on right here. I'm reloaded. Guys, right there. We got reloaded right there on Google. Came up there a little bit of a spike higher, right into 365 again. We shorted 365.10s. There it is. Nice downside play there. So we're able to get more shares and get reloaded. Today's been a good day, man. We've got Marvell. We've got a lot of these accounts popping right now. We've got NVIDIA making all-time or close to all-time highs. Apple close to all-time highs. Google pulling back in, which means good things for those of us trying to buy it long-term. I mean, I think that's kind of some of the stuff. I'm going to get another piece right now, 41 on Google. I don't know why it's dancing here. I want to punch out a little bit more at 50s. On that. Okay, so just a couple punch outs there on Google as we just got that reload, and then all of a sudden now we're 50 cents in the money. Like, you can clearly see it's not easy to trade these names. They get very violent when they start to move. So I want to make sure that I am sitting on some bids here to collect some of that. So like I'm sitting at 53 right now and then at 40. So if it does make a little bit of a, there you go. See, like we just get 53 there. So now when it comes back in, we can, you know, hopefully get this bid now at 41s and see how it just jumps like that. So you gotta be very, very careful with what you guys are doing over here. HPE, congratulations to everybody who got that one. That's a face slapper right there today for HPE, but it has fallen quite nicely back to the, I mean, not nice for longs, of course, but you know, nice for others that are looking to trade this name, as HPE right now going downside today, and that's not been a good story as we feel for, you know, people that, we talked about it earlier, Dragos there, you had those options. I hope you're able to get out a little bit of those, as that was a nice move to the high side. Created $64 there today, HPE, before this just happened. So $10 to the downside over here. Hopefully we can recoup some of those losses with some other trades if you were long. But yeah, not a bad opportunity there for HPE on what was decent earnings, that's for sure, following that of Dell. Although Dell didn't have a pullback of 10+%, did it? But HPE.
No, it fared much worse than the other. Look at all of the stocks that went 25 to 30% up in the last week, and HPE is the only one that's done this. Dell didn't do it, Marvell didn't do it. Snowflake held the open as well. HPE is the only opening range bottom. Let's go to Sia.
Oh, I just want to say, we just got a super chat. We'll go to Sia right here. It was a marvelous day. It still is, Joe. So thank you for that super chat. We really appreciate that, and I hope that you have had a marvelous day yourself. And Sia over there, at the desk. I thought she was at the screen. All right, let's go hear what Sia has to say.
Thank you so much. Let's take a quick look at what's going on in the market. The triple Qs and SPY, triple Qs trading flat and as well as the SPY. So let's take at the two headlines I have for you today. We're going to take a look at AVGO. First, Broadcom has moved higher after two, oh my God. Yeah, that is a massive spike. Higher after two separate AI catalysts have hit the tape simultaneously. Alphabet has announced plans to raise $80 billion to fund additional AI infrastructure spending, including any new data centers and custom chip deployments, where Broadcom plays a key role in design. At the same time, as we spoke about it earlier in the show in the news segment, NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang's comments that Marvell could become a $1 trillion company reinforce certain investor enthusiasm for AI networking, connectivity, as well as infrastructure suppliers broadly. The market is rewarding companies for enabling AI scaling rather than just the AI applications themselves, putting Broadcom squarely in the center of this spending cycle. Currently, Broadcom up on the day almost 3%. Next ticker I have for you is DG. Sorry, that's the wrong one. Oops, DG. Dollar General has reported Q1 adjusted EPS of $2, beating expectations by 12 cents, while revenue of $10.79 billion has missed consensus by roughly $20 million. Same-store sales have increased 2.4%, well ahead of expectations, driven by higher customer traffic, as well as continued strength across consumables, seasonal products, as well as home categories. Management has raised full-year guidance, now forecasting diluted EPS of $7.20, between $7.20 and $7.45 versus prior guidance, which was in between the range of $7.10 and $7.35, while also maintaining expectations for positive sales growth. And with that, DG down on the day almost 1.3%. Sending it right back to you.
Oh, that's bad. Dollar General, yuck. This was cruising at the start of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the dollar name. Yeah. Fabian had some dollar stories.
I think that's a problem when. What does that say about the consumer? Nothing good. Nothing good. Like if that's not a canary in the coal mine, then the term doesn't exist, in my opinion. Yuck. I know here Dollarama does fantastically up in Canada, but yeah, that's yuck. Dollar General. What is going on there? Didn't realize it was so bad. I do remember that it was having a good start to the year, but not very good. Broadcom. I want to just put that in perspective with Broadcom. Gap up on some sympathy, profit takers at an all-time high. You can't you can't get mad when something in a pretty reasonably solid upward trend sees a sympathy gap up, and then when it's at an all-time high, you just get that little bit of a sell-off. You're still green, you're still above yesterday's highs. Broadcom has done effectively this on breakouts before. Like, it'll just find a resistance spot, hold for a couple of days and go. In this case, it was gapped up, so instead of like holding an area, it just pulls back into set area. Well, if 465 goes, I think you got to be in trouble at that point. Someone was asking me if I thought Michael Saylor was done. I have no idea. I don't know. Like I'm not Michael Saylor. I don't have his plan. I don't know what his pain points are. Who knows? What we do know is you've got to. It would be one thing if the NASDAQ was in a correction, like 10% back. Right? Like, I know Bitcoin's down like 45% from the high, or whatever the heck it is. I could draw the ruler, but let's just call it 45%. It's close enough. It would be one thing if we were in a correction, but we're pressing all-time highs here. It's been a long time since you've been able to say anything but IBIT is bearish. And when it recently broke trend, it's been short pretty much every single day. If and when, like when we get down to like 37 here, that could be a first stop. I guess that'll be like 65K or something along those lines. So you've just got to understand that there's weakness, and at some point when it catches a bounce, you'll probably do better when it catches a bid in MSTR than you will in BMNR than you will in IBIT and ETH, which is fair. I understand that, but for now, they're just in a bear market, and you got to deal with it. I'm just looking for LOD. I didn't get that trend, like this trend line, which I keep having to redraw. It didn't really give me the test for the reload, but it hits the low, and we're just going to reload that one on trend whenever we get a chance. And Noah, I'm not here to tell you that MicroStrategy is a scam. Like, that's
not a scam. The opposite of a scam. He's clearly telling. I mean, he told everybody what he was doing.
What's a better example?
He was doing it. And the prospectus is there, and we always talk about, we have these reads, and we say, make sure you read up on whatever you're doing. And so I just feel like
he tells you that.
Yeah, and I mean,
Mullen was a scam.
It might have been Nikola.
Nikola
was a scam. The guy was pushing the cars up and down hills.
Like, that's a scam.
Those may be more scammy than this. Yeah. I feel like what the right word might be, it's like financial engineering as far as Bitcoin and taking advantage of public markets and raising capital to buy more Bitcoin. So basically just buying Bitcoin on the back of shareholders, but making it very public that that's what they're doing. I mean, they literally changed their name, like it used to be MicroStrategy, where I think if they were still in the previous business, whatever it was, probably would have been something to do with AI and all these racks and all this stuff. They might have been 10 times better than where they are right now. But I mean,
that's a very interesting point.
So I think
that you never hear discussed. It's like, what could they have pivoted to?
Yeah, I'm not just here for my hands.
I'm just saying, Michael.
So I was going to say, I think that's a strong opinion, and it's not one that's wrong. I mean, it's just everybody can have their opinions. I just think we got to be a little careful sometimes on the expectations of some of these stocks, right? It's like, is the TQQ a scam because it's triple levered against the NASDAQ? I mean, if you know about that going in, then you got to be aware of it. But
I respect honesty.
I do appreciate.
That's a big difference. Are they honest or not? And with Nikola, a lot of dishonesty.
Yeah, I think more of a scam would have been like something like BMNR or some of those trusts that were just kind of opened up, and then everyone kind of fled to the floodgates trying to support some of those things. Meanwhile, there was really nothing there, in those names. So I'm just going to say maybe something like that more. But I don't think either one is a scam. I'm just saying that would be it. But okay, so just quickly here on what we did on Google here. Clearly, I hope this name is not a scam, as this is a load up in my account at some point there. But we just got another bid at 50 on Google. So let's look at something else right now. Well, let's look at the broader markets. I know Sia just did a little bit of work right here. Here's the dollar today, and it's been a good one, that's for sure, as the market's sort of been bouncing around. We did have a nice move higher there, and we just ticked out there. Now the NASDAQ's trying to rally back on a weak dollar, and stories out of the Middle East creating a little bit of action there. Oil moving around. We saw silver actually today make a move lower, I believe. I didn't. It was at VWAP. I sort of stopped looking at it, so maybe I should go back at that. But there's a move lower on the DXY, so we could definitely, feel some love there on the dollar. And if you go over to a 30-minute chart of the dollar, I had to move my iced coffee out of the way. There's the move lower right now trying to go. And, the dollar has been an interesting thing because as this NASDAQ hits all-time highs, as does the ES, we haven't been able to really stay anywhere above this $100 mark. And it's not $100, these are points. This is just a DXY. This is an index made to monitor and track the US dollar. So, and the strength across different currencies and in the global markets, but it hasn't really been able to go anywhere. And this goes all the way back to, we had some huge moves in the dollar, that's for sure. But we hadn't been able to break anything since 25. So it's been about a year and a half where we've been sort of underneath this $100 mark and just had a couple opportunities, including tariff tantrums and whatnot, where we started to go a little higher there in the US dollar. US dollar is a flight to safety. And right now, a lot of traders aren't flying anywhere to safety. They're actually putting money into the market. And, some days you see, 10 of 12 sectors higher. Today, it's going to be a very mixed bag, right? Energy names, we will have a look at USO. There's Valero, nice move there on the upside to Valero. FANG, Diamondback Energy, which one of the best symbols there. I like FANG coming through. But it's the software names that are really, okay, Google, let's go, man. Google almost $1 off the reload right now as we get low, shorty get low on Google. We'll see how low exactly. But there's Palantir, yuck, man. That one's been slipping up pretty badly. It had a nice move, but today it's down 5. That's not good. Palo Alto coming tonight, down 1.89%. They've had oh, great. Brian's here. Perfect. I want to talk to Brian about Palo Alto. Palo Alto to the downside as well. CrowdStrike as well, down a little bit there. Google, Microsoft, all these sort of software names today. ServiceNow had been the belle of the ball for a minute, right? That's now down 7%. Salesforce down 5.5% as well. So all these sort of software names starting to get hit just a little bit. And it's nice to see JP Morgan back upside. Actually talking with a few people over the last couple of days, talking exactly about JP Morgan and some of the financials. At some point, this is going to swing in
everything with the credit cards, man.
Yeah.
Morgan Goldman been great.
Yeah, Robinhood downside on Bitcoin worries as well. But all right, without any further ado, if he's ready, let's bring him in because I want to talk to Brian and tell him why he didn't tell me to short Bitcoin at 80,000 there. Hi, Brian. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you guys?
I think we're doing okay.
The market's doing fantastic. As long as you're not all in on crypto, you got to be happy.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. I know you've been sort of out of it. We've talked about crypto a little bit with you on the show many times. And yeah, just what a disaster. We saw Michael Saylor yesterday getting out of some. And if he's going to be the king of the castle, well, then we're just a bunch of dirty rascals holding on to this thing because it's now down below 70,000. And I think we touched 67 right now on BTC. Any charting here for you on Bitcoin? I know we bounced from this level before. What do you think now?
King of the sandcastle, right? And the tide's coming in.
That's right.
Bitcoin, why didn't I tell you at 80? If you look at my tweets, I'd said over here on that particular day, now's the time if you're long, start tightening your stops. We have potential supply at the anchor from the all-time high as well as this anchor, which is from the last halvening. So that had been, this head and shoulders pattern as well. We came up to the neckline. We're pulling back down. We undercut the anchor from the low this year.
That's not good.
That anchor is it's at 70, 72 basically, meaning the average participant who's purchased this year is now down 5,000 on it, which is a pretty good percent. So seems like we're probably headed back for another test of this low. Ideally, we get an undercut of that low, and then maybe we can start to bounce, but it's just toxic right now.
I'm just playing around with you about that 80,000 because I remember last time you were on, you showed that exact chart and you absolutely nailed that. So me sitting here holding it is not very wise. And I remember last time you were on here, it was the day before Marvell earnings. I don't know if you remember that one. And we said, hey, if Marvell can drop into the 170 area, maybe there would be some pickup there. Here's the earnings. So Marvell goes up to 218 or so. We're able to get some out. I got some out, at 218 there. Then we fell in that very next day into 180, 189. And then look what's happened since then, Brian. Some of these stocks just they don't look like anything I've really seen before. You know, we can see this kind of movement in small cap names. We can see this kind of movement, you know, in some of those penny stocks that kind of go vertical, you know, social media names or whatever starts to pump through Reddit or whatever. But look at this on Marvell, man. This is a $200 billion company that just has candles like this. $200 2 days ago, $300 today. I don't, you know, I'm not smart enough to understand where to get in and out of this name, but Marvell just keeps on working, another 30% today. Have you seen anything like this? Can you remember anything other than, like, I guess, I don't know, maybe some of the names during COVID, but this seems to be pretty outsized moves here for some of these big cap names.
Yeah, I guess that would be the tech bubble going back to 99, 2000. And, you know, my memory of that has actually faded. So this is the new group for sure. And, you know, look at Dell. It's just incredible, these moves. You know, I'm involved in Twilio, which is having a nice run in here as well. But my God, these types of moves, yeah, it's been a while. So enjoy it while it lasts. And everyone always, you know, I like to remind people that it doesn't end badly if you have a plan. Everyone always likes to say it's going to end badly. And that's true if you're not taking some profits along the way. There's nothing wrong with locking in a little bit of gain. These are highly unusual moves.
I'm going to pass it over to Neil, but on the right screen right there, that was an anchored VWAP from earnings. Is that what that was? The blue line? Right there on the right, it's our right. That one right there.
Yeah,
okay.
So that's the week to date. That's the new month to date, and it's also happens to be from earnings there on Twilio.
Okay, so that's probably a good area. And
Actually, I'm sorry. I apologize. That's not from earnings. I don't know why I said that, just because it gapped up the other day. But this here is where their earnings report were on Twilio. Okay. So I've been watching this one and waiting for it to kind of get back above that 5-day moving average. So for me, it was a purchase last Friday, when it made that higher high above that flat to rising 5-day moving average that we always talk about.
Okay, makes sense there, guys. Thanks, Brian.
Yeah.
Neil's got something for you here.
Yeah, you might have just given a bit of a hint here when talking about where you might anchor things to. We get Palo Alto and CrowdStrike. Palo Alto first, then CrowdStrike earnings, and these names have been insane too. Like if you look at this on the daily, but forget about that. Like on the weekly, the weekly chart is complete insanity. But it's been a recent breakout. When we talk about taking profit, like, would you, on any gap up where you get this distinct a pattern behavior, would you just immediately slap an anchor and say, this is when it became different? I don't care why or what the catalyst was. That becomes completely irrelevant. It's very obvious to see where there's like a quote-unquote change in the tape. Slap the anchor on and hold it until it breaks it. And then if it breaks underneath, are you thinking disaster, or would you be thinking, oh, there's going to be some other places to pick these up? Because some of these names, like ARM is one that I own, that I'm thinking if that broke, if that breaks some support, that could be trouble. Where are you at with if it does lose some of those anchors from the breakout, specifically with Crowd and PanW, if you could?
Yeah, well, on PanW, like you said, these are all-time highs. And when you look at these weekly charts, it's just these types of moves are unprecedented. You know, a short-term tactic that I like to use for taking partial profits on a very short-term time frame is, you know, for day trades, is a 2-minute exit. Meaning, so if this was a 2-minute chart, we can use it on a weekly as well. So at the end of this week, and the new week begins next week, let's say right here, well, then a stop would go under this. So we're making successive higher lows each one of these weeks. So I would say, you know, once that pattern starts to break, take a little bit off. Then look at, as you mentioned, the anchor from where the character changed right here with this gap. That would be the point. And that's also kind of where we see that rising 20-day moving average. It's kind of foreign to me to have a stop all the way down here at 243 when the stock is 50 points higher. You're talking about giving up 50 points on a $300 stock. That's a big percentage move, and not something that I'm personally willing to do. So it comes down to time frame, I guess, as well. But even here, when we pulled back below that 5-day moving average briefly, the 5 was still rising. And if it had done something like this and gotten trapped below the 5, then perhaps I would have thought, hey, maybe it's time to take a little bit off. But now, even on this shorter term time frame, we've still got these higher highs and higher lows above the rising 5-day moving average. And as you said, that's where the character changed right there with that gap.
Okay, so there's an elephant in the room for next week, which is SpaceX. You're all, like, everyone knows you're a technical analysis kind of person. There's a lot that is I won't get into the litany of things that are different about this IPO. It's a very long list, which makes it unprecedented in size and scope. Does your risk profile change for any of the longs that you are holding because of what is potentially coming to market next week for any reason? Because there's so much allocation towards, because it's so different, because there's so much exuberance going in. Does that event change your mind on anything?
It really doesn't, Neil. I mean, in the back of my mind, I can't help think but a fundamentalist and think, we're going to, soak up all this money and where's it going to come from and that sort of thing. And that it's wildly overpriced, most likely, and it's who knows what it's going to do. Those are all great for, what am I trying to say? Just, talk points on television and that sort of thing. And that's why I don't watch television, because I don't need to hear that stuff. Price action tells me everything. So I'm not going to, if I was long PANW, I wouldn't be thinking, well, SpaceX is coming. We've got to do something in this stock that's got nothing to do with it. Instead, just stay focused on risk management for each asset that you trade. There's all kinds of distractions out there, and we've seen them. This market has climbed the wall of Worley. We weren't supposed to be where we are in this market because interest rates have been soaring, because oil has maintained a strong bid, and because of this war that's ongoing. Rumors, headlines that change every single day. It's not supposed to be doing this. But if you let that get in the way of price action, it's cost you tremendously. So just stay focused on the price action.
Now, well, obviously, if you're in like Rocket Labs or I don't know, like insert space name that's had a little bit of sympathy to it, that's within sector and going to make a little bit of a difference. But in terms of the actual trade, as a day trader, it's unavoidable. Day traders, it's just too big of a liquidity event to not hash some kind of a plan on the day. That's just the reality. Like I'll never say I'm not trading it one way or another. I'll try to find long at the open. I'll probably pay for locates on the off chance a really good short sets up on SpaceX. But do you have a plan of action for this? I know you've talked about sometimes when you get that initial dip and then wait for it to do that little U shape and break out the high. Do plans change because of the opportunity here with SpaceX, where you would look a little bit earlier than you would just because of the opportunity?
I mean, sometimes I trade the IPOs on the day they come. If you look at Cerberus, for instance,
right?
If you look at I'm sorry, I just changed the wrong screen. It came public at 185 and it opened at what price? 350 or so, and it's probably bleeding back down to that offering price. These highly hyped IPOs tend to be duds for at least a while. Let them shake out. For day trading purposes, as soon as it comes public, pull up your 1 minute chart and put an anchor on that first minute. But then on minute 2, put an anchor on that as well. Here's why: because that first print is going to be the largest 1 minute print probably for the next 5 years in that stock, because that's all the matched orders that determine the publicly traded price that it opens at. And that's that's not free market trading. It's negotiated on that print. It officially begins right after that print. So what you'll see is that first volume has such huge, that first bar rather on 1 minute has such huge volume that it'll skew the stock for the next day, day and a half. Whereas minute 2 is the actual trading in the free market. So that's something that I always do, and I would probably pull it up and most likely trade it, just because, like you said, you can't ignore such a big liquidity event.
I don't know if this is true, but I have a strong suspicion. Cerberus was a good trade, but I have a strong suspicion I would have hung on to more profit if I had a stop at the anchor where you just said. Instead of having like an even dollar stop at, say, like the open price, which I feel like way too many people had, if your stop is the same as everybody on on something like that or on a SpaceX, it can be tricky on the way out. And if you can get out somewhere like a little bit better, I do find that makes all sense. That's it's just a great piece of advice. This is why we love having you on, Brian. I want to give you a chance. I know we're always leading you in the direction of a discussion where we're interested and where our viewers are interested. But are there any names maybe out there that you haven't got a chance to talk to, or positions that you're in that you wanted to just throw out there for us?
Last week we spoke about a couple of biotech names. TGTX was one of those. That was spit out for a small loss. If you recall, I was looking for it to get back above that 5-day moving average. I got involved here, took a third off, it broke down and avoided that. The good news, though, was we also spoke about ALKS. And ALKS was a purchase right here, and that's what I had laid out. So it exploded higher. I'm still long a half a position in ALKS. We also mentioned BTDR, which I'm now out of, but very nice move in that one. For now, you guys know the news on the quantums, and Rigetti has been trading just below the anchor from the all-time high, and it is getting a lot tighter in here. We can see this range, that we saw the news from the government investing in these stocks. It gapped up that day, and we've been defending the anchor from that move here over and over again. Now, my concern is it might see a quick shakeout before it goes back up, but I kind of think because everyone's buying, the Trump basket of stocks, that this one will maintain its bid. So if it can get definitively beyond the anchor from the all-time high, that means the average participant from anywhere you look at on this chart is now in a winning position. And this is the type of name, as you're well aware, can make moves like this and like this. So Rigetti is one to definitely keep a close eye on. QBTS was also a recipient of some of that government money. And of course, IBM has already gone too far, I think. But and then IBM really surprised me. I looked at this one and I thought, this has got the weakest chart. It's below a 200-day moving average. It's probably going to get stuck in here. So I missed this move. But Rigetti looks like probably the one with the best potential here.
You know what? I said that we'll lead you to where you wanted to go, and you just inadvertently answered a question we literally had 10 minutes before you came on. We got that question specifically about the Rigetti breakout, so thank you again.
Right. Yeah, I was lucky enough to buy some IBM down there. I mean, I like the solid company. Then we get that, and then we get that news. Just quickly here, Brian, I'm going to go over to ASTC, just halted right there, up nicely today, but we've seen this name go back and forth with the tap right now, $39, basically $40. We're trying to watch. Oh, there it is, man. It's $1.50 right now on Google, as that's coming back in with many, many outs, but there's Google coming back down, and there's a VWAP break, by the way, Brian, on Google, and here's the move down. We're now $1.50 in the money on Google, and this is starting to go lower and lower. I wanted to throw this up just so you could see. This is from one of our guests. Hangry wife. You don't want your wives to be too hangry, but he says there, he likes Brian. He does not overcomplicate the charts. So I just wanted to give everybody a clear indication that we are talking with the author of Maximum Trading Gains with Anchored VWAP. So you guys can all go pick this up. Everything is explained right into here, including IPOs, which we talked about, in the book as well. So you just mentioned SpaceX, and there's a whole chapter on IPO trading in here as well. So we want to thank Brian for coming through again here today. As we'll be talking with you next week, and we'll find out. Well, actually, that'll be still before SpaceX.
Yeah, it'll be a couple days before,
and then we'll see how that winds up going. But thank you for all your infinite wisdom here, Brian. Where can traders find you? Do you have any events coming up or anything you'd like to plug?
No events. You can find me on Twitter at Alpha Trends, X at Alpha Trends, and I've got a $10 subscription over there. If you want to get daily insights, that's where I can do that for, like I said, a nominal fee.
Perfectly, and I do want to emphasize, Brian never asks us to talk about this book, but I just, I think it is important that a lot of traders out there, there's too much noise. And we did a video yesterday about a scanner. If you just call up a generic scanner anywhere, there's going to be like 300 names on there. It doesn't mean you trade every single one of them. You got to narrow it down. And I think your book, as far as technical analysis and anchored VWAP and keeping it simple, stupid, that's exactly what this book does for a lot of beginning traders and advanced traders. Lots of good topics in there. So Brian, thank you so much at Alpha Trends, a big friend of the show. I think it's been 5 years or so. Brian's one of our OG guests. So we want to thank you for always coming through. And you have that open invitation if you're ever here in the Greater Toronto area to definitely swing by and let Neil buy you lunch or something. So, okay. Thank you so much, Brian. Have a great week, and we'll see you soon, okay?
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thank you, Brian, again.
Sometimes he'll say don't. He's actually, there was one time I was doing the aftermarket for you.
Yeah.
I'm not making this up.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, you guys, he literally said, you guys don't have to promote like the book. Right?
Yeah,
He
I know.
said that
He
to
always
me, and I'm
says
like, Brian, man.
That just makes me want to promote it more.
It's like, well, is some of the Jedi,
I see.
Jedi
It's
mind
like
trick?
some reverse psychology over there.
It was like a Jedi mind trick that he was pulling on me there.
No, but
I have a lot of respect.
But we
Everyone has
really
a lot of
can't.
respect. You can't.
I really can't say enough. Even Michael Noss is in this book as well. So there's lots of stuff going on there. Sia said great reference to Jedi mind trick.
Yeah.
Pretty,
She watches a little
pretty
bit
obvious
of,
reference, but I like it.
Well, she's in the Clone Wars.
Okay.
Clone
Success.
Wars that was a good ish.
Yeah, very
One
good.
of the best
Very,
things that
very
they've
good.
done. Easily.
All right, so yeah, very solid individual there. Thanks, Michael, for always helping us out and showing us the way. All right, Microsoft just got some news there with NVIDIA. I don't know if that's what Miss Adair is going to talk about, so let's go back over and see what she's up to.
It's also unclear to me how new this news is because Microsoft build is done. This could be a press release released after the fact, but NVIDIA and Microsoft were already brought up together during the Microsoft build to the point where CEO Jensen Huang of NVIDIA actually appeared virtually. Regardless, here's the headline, sending MSFT slightly higher here. NVIDIA partners with Microsoft on a unified stack for agentic AI. Nothing is new on its face here. Again, if I get more details, I'll let you know. Back to you.
Okay, I mean, slight bump on Microsoft. Not much, but, well, when it's been this week, it's going to stand out at least a little bit there. That's fine. And Jay Lee's got a comment.
Uh-oh, what's he saying?
No, it's just on the Rigetti. I'll bring it up the way that we're supposed to. See, we can do it like the super chats. Instead of me pulling the chat over,
Right,
throw it up
better.
like this. Interesting facts on Rigetti. Hey, we're just talking Rigetti. 8.5 billion evaluation. I know where you're going with this because we've mentioned this before. But revenue is 4.4 million for Q1 with normalized EBITDA of 23.34 million for Q1. Just saying it should dump and crash. All of the quantum names look like that. This is the reason, the only one, I have a core position in IBM and I've had it for quite some time. You get quantum with that. You get a little quantum on the side. Everyone owns Alphabet. You probably own them. You don't even know it. You own Alphabet. You got quantum on the side of that too. It's like the French fries. It just comes with the meal, which is fine. But neither one of those things, if they make a breakthrough, is going to go 100 times. So the trade-off for playing in the world of QBTS, D-Wave, IonQ, you are playing that for them. Any kind of meaningful breakout, you're way overpaying for it. From a trading standpoint, which is exactly what Brian was talking about. That's what the super chat was about. Yeah. I don't think any of that was to say that Rigetti is fundamentally the best. It's got a bull flag. It's holding the 200-period moving average. It's well back from the highs and is breaking. If it breaks this top, is breaking a major anchored VWAP from the highs. That's just a pure technical trade. I'll be the first person to make jokes about the fundamentals when it comes to these. And I say that is, we got some QBTS, but I'll joke about how little money they make. Like the backup left fielder on your favorite baseball team makes more money a year than the revenue of these companies. Let's go to Adara. I thought it was maybe Sia. Oh, my bad.
Ha-ha!
It's not.
Volatility, everybody, creates movement. And for sophisticated traders, movement creates opportunity. Beta Pro by Global X offers Canada's first and longest running suite of levered and inverse levered ETFs built for sophisticated investors who understand the risks of leverage and the importance of precision. Its triple levered bull and bear ETFs tied to the NASDAQ 100 are designed for daily tactical trades, providing amplified exposure and giving traders tools to engage with both upward momentum and market pullbacks. These strategies are currency hedged, seeking to offset US dollar exposure back to the Canadian dollar. For those navigating short-term market moves, both up and down, Beta Pro offers the flexibility to act with conviction, whatever that looks like for your individual strategy objectives and, of course, risk profile. Trade tactically And please learn more by doing your research at betapro.ca and scan said QR code on your screen. Okay, so yeah, thanks Brian for coming through, and thanks everybody, for your patience with everything today. And it's been a good one, that is for sure, in the markets. There's been lots of movement. And I was just going to say, as opposed to looking at Rigetti, looking at anything like that, we already know that a stock like Marvell, a stock like Dell, I'm glad Brian brought that one up as well. These are actual companies that have actual revenues, that actually have market caps, that are something that you can support, that have big time people talking about them. Now, the U.S. government obviously did drop some money into quantum, but that's going to get spread around, and that's why a name like an IBM, I really continue to like with that dividend. I mean, I was buying IBM, like we were saying there, back when I was a wee one, and now it's just grown into a decent position, but still hasn't moved up like Tesla or Amazon or any of those kind of names, do. So you got to watch out for IBM, and a nice breakout long on IBM has just happened, and IBM just actually, I keep saying it, let's call it international business machines. They just took out right now, again, levels. It was 310 at open. It's 328 right now, and it is just busting out through all of these levels one more time. I was nervous when we had bought it down into here that we would potentially stop. And I remember when we were in that name, and we got IBM the day of that news. So I think it was probably right into here. I'd have to look, but I bought it in Canada on the CDR. So probably I'm going to say, let's just call it 224 or something like that. But it's now up $100 in a straight line over a week. So I was wondering if this was going to be a problem. It was for a couple minutes here at 255, and then it just gapped, and then gapped again, and then gapped today one more time back there to the upside. So IBM really on one right now, up that 2.4%. And if Joe was here, which he's not, he would be like, half of Katina Wilson Capital. He would be a dividend guy. He likes dividends, so you can see that coming through. I'll put on the trades. Joe will collect the dividends. As you can see right there it comes right now. Right back in is this name, and of course, we're talking about Google. So now we're $1.40 in the money on that name, and we've already gotten some nice little low prints on Google. We're just gonna wait to see where it goes from here. I like the stock. Let's see what winds up happening with Google. To the short side is what we like it. It was our #1 trade idea today, and of course, got stopped out right where we liked it, but there it is to the downside. Okay, one of my favorite segments is when Adara educates us. And when she's over there at the wall, she's going to tell us something pretty special. So let's go over and figure out what's up with Adara at the big wall.
Thank you, Sean. This afternoon's wall segment, I need to come up with a better name, concerns C3AI. Now, they don't report tonight. They report tomorrow after the bell. I do have a rollout of visuals ahead of this report that I want to get into. This one was already released, so let's talk about it, because C3AI is a pretty interesting one. Now, you may recall that founder and then CEO, and then he left the CEO position. Now he's back as CEO. His name is Thomas Siebel. So he unfortunately had some vision issues. Initially, we had some guidance issues. I want to say like the summer of 2025. In September of 2025, he stepped down from the company due to said vision issues. Then in May of this year, a couple weeks ago, he said, I'm back, I'm CEO again. Stephen Ahikian, who left the Trump administration to replace Siebel as CEO, got ousted, and now he's president of the company. So very drama there for C3AI. Regardless, Thomas Siebel saying his vision issues still exist, but they're slightly better now, so we're going to have to wait and see what happens here for the company and if that's a concern for shareholders. Well, the CEO announcement was made, so again, mid-May of 26. We also got here some preliminary earnings for Q4, which is the quarter they're reporting tomorrow. Now, as you can see here, Q4 2026 revenue, this is expected to be down sequentially. And unfortunately, each quarter this year, we've had a slight decline on a sequential basis. Profit, we're also expecting to be a loss for Q4 2026. Now, in terms of subscription revenue, we did not get a subscription revenue outlook here for Q4 2026, but either way, this has been kind of herky-jerky. I think really what we're going to want to see is if they are able to somehow pull out profit rather than loss for Q4, and if they can pull out some sequential revenue growth. I'm also curious to see if these vision issues are addressed further, because of course, it is a concern for Thomas Siebel, but it's also very likely a concern for his company shareholders. Back to you. This was another wall segment.
Thank you, Adara.
I know Adara didn't mean anything by it, but she was like, let's see if this vision issue has correct. I know it wasn't intentional, I could tell right there. But thanks. We were actually talking about that yesterday and talking about that. So hopefully he can see clearly and get that company back to where it needs to be as far as that
is concerned. 30% off of the
Someone was saying,
why? What do they even do?
Why is the NASDAQ flying? And many of these names are heading lower.
Apple.
Yeah, I mean, there's Apple's
Apple. That's the answer to your question.
Yeah, Apple at all-time highs here. You know, the watches that I have on board right here, you know, BM&R down, Shopify, sorry, Canada. Shopify is down 6%. All right, you know, let's go. Let's be happier here. There's Marvell. Maybe we can zoom in on this, Andre. I'm not sure if that's possible, but there's Marvell. This is just my own curated list that I have. It's a lot of names that I'm either holding or looking at here for day trading opportunities. So there we'll get it a little. There we go. We'll get to that super chat, whatever that was, in a second. Marvell up 30%. Wow. SoxL having a day. So we talked about some of the things that might be helping this market out right now. NVIDIA, no, down. So that's bad. So SoxL upside. That's an ARM. That's a Marvell story. There's lots of names in SoxL that are not NVIDIA. AMD, SMR. I mean, we've been talking about SMR for a minute, including, shout out to my hockey dads on the weekend there. I was telling them about SMR. Hopefully they're into it. Their SMCI, Qualcomm, they shouldn't always take my advice. BABA, that's a nice move up there, 5% as well. Broadcom, getting some Marvell kickbacks today for sure. Apple right there. And we can see, if I sort of zoom back this, I got to get rid of some of these columns, but 52-week highs inbound for many of these names. Micron up 2.5% as well. And then we'll go to the red side of this whole board here. Crypto, right? IBIT, Shopify, BM&R. Shopify is not crypto. There's Coinbase, Roblox getting hit. Software names, Palantir getting hit. There's Marathon, Microsoft down, Affirm, Robinhood, Boeing.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's down 4%.
That stands out a
That's
little bit.
down 4%. I know. Yeah, I know exactly. You want me to tell Kelly you're clapping for it down 4%? Adara? Okay, so then, you know. All right, so there's Google there.
I assumed it had to be up.
Yeah, she was like, yes, Boeing. All right, let's go. Right there. Actually, Dara just wants free plane rides everywhere. I don't blame her. All right, Netflix there, Disney, Intel. And by the way, one of Adara's posts got retweeted by the greatest company in the world, Marvell, the other day. So shout out to that one, Adara on her Marvell work. When you know that's good when they report and they retweet. But there's Amazon down 1.24. So that's just a little look at some of the lists that I look at. I'm going to get rid of some of those columns so we can see 52-week highs and lows. There's Marvell today, 225, 52-week high for Marvell.
Tesla?
Where's Tesla? No, that's not a 52-week high. This will be this column.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So these ones are red today. So 52-week low for NU, whatever that is.
That's new bank. FinTech's been bad.
Oh yeah, new. Oh yeah.
Yeah, FinTech's been. FinTech sucks today.
That's the Brazilian.
The Brazilian SoFi. That's, first of all, we didn't make that up. Somebody else.
Oh no, it was Warren Buffett. Actually,
when it came out, it was like Warren Buffett specifically said that.
Or somebody at Berkshire. They were one of the lead investors in that. Okay, here we go. Thoughts on Shaquille O'Neal getting to $100 next? Oh, Shaz getting to $100 next week. What is Shaz?
I only know that it's Sharon AI because when I pull it up on the level 2, just to show you what happens, see how it's automatically in the drop down? So that's how oftentimes I'll be like, oh, so you mean Sharon AI Holdings Inc.?
Duh.
It should be usually relatively obvious if we don't know. I'm not going to know everything in the market. So, technically, of course it could happen. I don't know them. What I would tell you is be a little bit cautious here. Like, look at the way that this stock has gone structured. It's about $25. Let's just look at the even dollars. So this is $25. And then it goes trend up. And then look at this interesting sideways, we're just going to float around the $50 level. It didn't really do the same thing at 75, but technically, it feels like it just wants to go to like 100 and be like, okay, that's where we're going, and then we can do that little bit of a stop. But it's got an upward trend, so usually when I see something on an uptrend I know nothing about, it's like, well, if it doesn't break the trend, then whatever. And the 25, 50, 75, and the current trend line from 50, if it closes under 75, that gives anybody holding the trend out. Technicals are the only way you can look at it. For Shaz, which is, I like Shaq too, but Shaq probably wants to forget about Shazam. Because if Shazam, the movie, was a chart of a stock, it would be a little bit more lucid and a little bit less this thing. And if you haven't seen Shazam, then picture watching a movie that is the manifestation of a chart that looks like this. But Shaq done got paid. I mean, whatever. Like he did just fine. But Shazam was horrible. You know, what's it called again? The LeBron and the one with Jordan, the Looney Tunes, Space Jam. You know, those people could call them corny, but that was like watchable. Like I watched Space Jam.
I didn't watch
I didn't watch the LeBron one.
Yeah, neither did I.
I watched the Michael Jordan one. Like Bill Murray, and it was kind of good. But Shazam that was just a bad look, really bad look.
All right. So a little bit of a take there on Shazam. Oh, Adara, how was Backroom?
Excellent. I'm not going to say too much. I will say it's not. If you're looking for plot, maybe not the vibe. If you're looking for ambiance and good storytelling and amazing acting, I would highly recommend it. I'm also hoping for Chiwetel Ejiofor at the Oscars this year, because given that we had 2 horror Oscar wins for acting in the 25 Oscars, like, hey, it's possible. Go Chiwetel Ejiofor, go Renata Reigns, great film.
He's had some pretty good roles that I've been a fan of. He's excellent. He was good in The Martian. 12 Years a Slave, he was obviously fantastic in. I look forward to that. But just one more question on, will it actually get you out your seat scared a little bit?
It's not that type of scary.
Okay.
I think it's more cerebral than anything else. Like, it's not going to be, I wouldn't give you nightmares as much as it kind of gives you, the way I saw it put in one review that I would agree with is it kind of puts you into somebody else's nightmares, if that makes sense. So because it's so character focused, I don't think it's something that you could necessarily be scared of, but there's a couple jump scares. It's a good time. The people next to me were like yelling the whole movie, so I guess they were scared, but I wasn't.
So my wife will maybe watch it. Because that A24 did this Midsummer movie, which, like, that movie starts out, it's like, yeah, okay, it's like slow paced. And then, like, every half an hour, it just, like, it ticks. You know, like, when the whole story, but, like, when it's, like, put a frog in, like, regular water and then boiling water.
Right.
It gets more and more messed up. To by the point you're like, the last half an hour, it's like, where did this movie come from? This is one of the most messed up things I've ever seen. And it is crazy. And it starts from it just looks like a regular drama film, and it goes ape, you-know-what, crazy. And if you were sitting, some people, like my wife would try to watch that, she would walk out of the theater when it hits like some of these turning points. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. If we have one more point, then we get back to this market.
Yeah, I'm going to be quick here. If you haven't seen Hereditary, it's by the same director as Midsommar. I would say it's even more that. Great film.
I like a good throw.
All right. Yeah, good. So, yeah, go get out there and enjoy. Fabian's talking about Obsession. So another good one to go have a quick look. I'm not obsessed with Meta, but it's down to 600 again. And we were talking how much we liked Meta that one day when it was starting to rip through, and it's right back into buy zone territory right there. Joe says this is a forever hold. I don't know. I'm not so convinced on that, but Meta right now, $500, $600, has hit this level a couple times. You got to go all the way back to April 30th, which is this day when we had that flush in on Meta, and then it's just been bought up. I don't want to say ever since then, because the highest we got there literally was 620 until we had that event, and now it's just screaming right back down to the downside again. So, you know, they're not really loving all that monetization there for Meta, and now it is a lot of downside action there. Watch out for the 600.
Part of the problem becomes, well, now you can get Alphabet on a discount too. You know, like
Meta's on much more of a discount.
I would agree, but Alphabet's got the way better moat. It's got like it's everywhere. Like we said, it's like you get the side of fries with Quantum, and maybe like it's more like the coleslaw. You know, you get the data center. You've got automated driving. You're gonna get robotics. There's a little bit of everything with them.
Are we shorting the NASDAQ up here?
The NASDAQ. What is so crazy is like depending on what you're looking at, like all the charts, like USO's at the high, Bitcoin's at the low. Yeti just did a flash crash a couple of minutes ago. Oh yeah, I was gonna mention something about that.
Yetis are like the greatest invention.
I love them. I love
pretty much of all time.
I think we have like 5 or 6 Yetis, like just mugs, different types, and then the cooler.
Yep, the cooler. Yeah,
it's like the greatest thing ever. You can't live without them. But there was
I would have got
a
bigger cooler.
On no news. What's wrong with this? I like the size of the one. It's not like the full size cooler when you have a big family. You can't do it for like the team. We can't put
that's what I'm saying. It would be better if it was a little bit bigger, but
for us, it's perfect for camping. No, but Yeti had a a flash crash. Couldn't find any news on it. I can't imagine anybody's trading this. It's only done 1 million shares, but it probably popped up on scanners. Can't see a reason for why this dropped $2 and then came right back. So I'm gonna call it outside of knowing, like if I don't see news and I see a stock drop 3 or 4% and then instantly come back on the same 3-minute candle, we just call it a flash crash until proven otherwise. Good company, but it doesn't mean it has to do anything. I did get wicked out of the trend short, but then when I put a topping tail candle in, there's the topping tail candle. That's just a reason to re-enter the trade and continue to see if it gets to the low of the day. Save Man Woman, Yeti makes like the best thermal mugs ever. And
someone didn't know what they were.
Yeah, oh yeah, and they also make like coolers. Like let's put it this way: like we do car camping every single year. You put like your meats and stuff you got to hold, like all frozen in that one Yeti. And that stuff is staying cold all week.
Oh yeah,
like it is cash money. And the coffee, like where's my bowl? It's in the kitchen. But like I put my morning coffee in there. It's still, and this is at 8 o'clock in the morning. We're finishing the morning show, and if there's any left, there usually isn't, but I could take a sip of it and it would still be not piping hot, but that's like 3 hours later, I'm still drinking it. It's a fantastic product. I mean, it doesn't mean the stock is good. It's already $3.25. There's a few things over 1 million shares here worth a look. Probably, I mean, CNQ usually pairs off. ALIT, don't know them, 2.2 million sell. BAC, 1.5 million sell. BAM, 1.5 million buy. Snapchat, 1.2 million to the buy side. PCG and WFC, we see those pair off all the time. Snap sometimes gets a bit of a move on those imbalances. Buy imbalance into a sell day. Down 3 points for Snapchat. This is a stock that could roll over. Like any weakness that Meta has, Snapchat should have twofold or threefold. Like this one could be break the 50 period and then short till it's not. Look here for Snapchat, because if Meta loses some contain here, good luck Snapchat. How can you be any better? You got to be worse.
That has its own problems over there.
That's what I'm saying. But if this,
no, we got more than 8 likes. Hit the like button. Sometimes YouTube doesn't refresh the likes, man. Hit the like button. Thank you for all the continued support, whether you're on TikTok, whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on YouTube Live, whether you're on Instagram Live, whether you're on Facebook Live. And I have no idea if we're on all of those, but wherever you are, make sure you do hit the like and the subscribe for us. Do us a favor and get that going ASAP. We appreciate all of the support here every single day. We couldn't and wouldn't do the show without everybody. So thanks to everybody for all of that support. Look, no, it's not meant to be anything like that. All right, so here is the story. And it's not of a man named Brady. It's of a man named Sean who, did not follow his own rules today. We have Google short 372 to 373, and this is still going to bite me. I talked even about IBIT, right, and said I haven't had the ideal entry yet. Like every day we put it on here, and I'm unable to capture the offer because it just starts to go almost immediately. The NVIDIA long at 223 to 224. We can have a look at that. I think it was hovering around there for a minute. I think it's lower now. Some of these, let's go Google as it starts to tank. And then TQQ short, right? That didn't. We tried actually 85.50. That blew out to the upside. So I'm going to say that was an L there. We didn't get an opportunity to do that. We'll have a check, but this should have been the biggest trade of the day. And, forget about Meta. We're going to go back over to Google because right now we're $1.30. At least we've got it now on, but this was a disaster for me because I just got carried away and forgot to go back to the basics there. And that's 373.50 was the high. And it's just because we had gone short there. That was fine. Then eventually we went short again, got stopped out there. Short again, averaged it in. That was okay. Then stopped out. Then short, got some out, averaged in, stopped out. There. And it was just like, okay, we're going to get stopped out. And that's what happened. And then whoosh happened. And now that particular trade that was up there at 373 is now down at 363. So we missed an opportunity there. So that's going to be my whole day, basically missing that one. But yeah, it all started with that short into right there that we should not have made. That was the high of the day. We had a huge move down on Google into 358. I like the short talk there on the need for more capital, on the need for diluting shares again. Some of these companies that buybacks, they went the other way around. They raised $80 billion on the back of shareholders, which is not great. But shareholders came back with a vengeance and bought it like crazy there. And I just didn't believe in the story. And, being at 358, didn't think it was going to get to 373. And when it was doing that, it was just a parabolic feel. You can go watch back at 11 o'clock, essentially, is when I got stopped out. Didn't like the trade and was pretty happy getting stopped out there. only to find out that it went all the way to the downside. And I wasn't even referencing my notes. So I feel like I let myself down there for sure. NVIDIA, it's still here, so I feel like this is a good area. We'll have a look at this tomorrow, 222 to 223. But right now, it's Google falling all over itself. Right now, down $1.40 in the money on this particular trade. Dara, what you got for us?
Keep an eye on CRM here. Not a massive move, but they just announced they're going to be partnering with OpenAI, and OpenAI's newly announced Codex, I guess, integration here, basically allowing a sales plugin. So Salesforce, again, saying on their X account, they are partnering with OpenAI in their new Codex Sites initiative. If I get more details, I'll let you know. Back to you.
Yeah, they are.
CRM needs all the help they can
Come on,
get.
Salesforce.
I don't care. Just keep churning through. Just make up some headlines if you have to.
No, bro, what are you even doing? This guy really
Be
wants
careful
this
with
guy.
that.
Yo, we don't even have
You're
insurance.
trying to get that workers comp.
Oh my God! Oh, the guy was doing
Gotta
chin-ups.
call
He was
HR.
doing chin-ups.
Well, actually, when this whole, you guys can see the lighting for like the rigging for the lighting. You can see in the back of the shot, like the little scaffolding thing. When it was installed, I remember the dudes were like, "Yeah, you could do pull-ups on these. Want to try?" I'm like, "No, I'll take your word for it. I'm not trying to fall. You crazy? Could do it, but not gonna bother." At the end of the day, at the end of the day.
I got kids, man.
Sometimes it's just okay to take people's word for things. Like I don't need to know whether he was pulling my leg or not. Like it doesn't really make.
Yeah, exactly.
Different weight classes. You think it's gonna make a difference between you and me? If that thing is gonna go, it doesn't matter. Like it's not different weight classes. Handle all of us. We're not gonna figure that out.
Yeah, we'll get Randy up there tomorrow. We'll see what's going on there. Randy hopefully has a safe.
I'll tell you this. 100%, the scaffolding is stronger than the bid on anything crypto related today. Scaffolding is like 10 out of 10. Save man, woman, you don't see Salesforce surviving in a few years as sales will be a thing of the past. I think that's the problem. Like everyone's picking, okay, who do we not think is going to be okay? And the answer right now is overwhelmingly Salesforce. All right, we just took another, okay, so we're at the 6. I'm not saying it's a thing, but the straight 6s just caught a bit of a bid. Bitcoin just flashed to 66, and then the 6s. So if it does any kind of a bounce off of this area, it's just another leg down. Between this and BMNR, these have been just shorts all day. So I'm going to look for the first bottom and tail we can find. It did this in the morning, where you get a flash down at 3:30. And we'll see if we can't get out of it. It's just been a matter of finding ways to get back into the trend. It doesn't matter which. Like it's basically been on one or two at all times today. It's at the open BMNR, then pivot to Bitcoin, then back to BMNR, and then when that hit the low, then take the next available setup in IBIT, which happened to be this move, and then in the afternoon here, get trailed out of that short, and then jump into a new one. But I've been all the way, just looking for these bases right here. What was that?
Well, he removed the padding on this thing. So I'm telling you, when I stand up, I'm going to hit my head.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
Well,
okay.
It is right, literally at head height when you stand up.
I'm just playing around, Fabian. All right. Stand up above.
Get that workers' comp.
Yeah. Workers' comp. Yeah, that's what I need. That's what I need about now. No, I don't. I never want. I want to always be here as much as.
First of all, there is no workers' comp here. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
You don't even have HR. There is no HR.
I used to be HR until that didn't work out well. Okay, so right now, we just heard something about Meta, some sort of staff backlash about employee tracking tools. Yeah, I guess so. Why is Meta at zeros? Is that actually right? Or is okay, it's moving around. I didn't know if that was right or not. So here goes Meta today. Just rolling all afternoon to the downside. Meta just cannot catch a bid. And, everybody... Again, I keep on referencing like people that we know and everything like that, but it's true. Like everybody's worried about missing everything, So I just want to say something like, you didn't miss anything ever, really. Like sometimes when stocks are going parabolic, I just don't think you're going to get a huge parabolic move in a Microsoft, Apple, anything like that. Sometimes you got to let it sort of settle down a little bit there. Like Microsoft pushed up to 470, now all the way it's back to 440. Like that's just in one day. A lot of these names just continue to be difficult to trade, I would say. And on breakouts is definitely where you're interested. So if you've missed that little breakout, but you still like Microsoft, why not take a piece right now? Because you're right back into that breakout area. Yeah, Rigetti, so we did have that talk you don't have it up, so here, I'll call it up real quickly. Oh, I mean, I can look at it. Yeah, there it is. So, you know, a lot of you like this formation there. It looks like, I mean, it's not enough to have sort of a flag yet, but it is forming. It's trying to get back upside. This is exactly like that look on Microsoft, right? And so, like, if you miss that break right there, sure, it goes up to 28.50, but then it pulled back, and now it's giving you a decent opportunity today at 25. Of course, you're at 26 and change. But yeah, I agree, man. I think that those are nice looks, and you know, we know that Rigetti has the pedigree to get back up here because it's been there before. So we have to see. That could be a double for Rigetti, and I don't, you know, I'm not in it, but
it's lagging a bit. Like for me, like if you're already in a QBTS, do you really want to? Do you need to double up on things that don't make money in the same space? If you're already in an Ion Q, like you could make the argument that both of those have already made a better break than Rigetti. It's just the technical of the break it's making right now. So like again. Like I'm in a QBTS, so probably wouldn't take that trade. It's like if I saw something in Oklo, well, but I'm in an SMR, so why am I buying Oklo too? Like you just sort of stick to one or the other. But it doesn't mean you don't like the technicals. That 66,666 was holding. It bounced the first time, and then the floodgates opened up underneath. So Bitcoin just continues to go lower, now 7% down. ETH getting smoked. And I know we've been looking mostly at IBIT just to show you, but oddly enough, Coinbase, like I said, you've been continuously making fresh lows on Bitcoin all day long. Coinbase hasn't made a new low. It's down 5%, and it's holding a little bit. Robinhood, I know it's down 3%, but you know what? It's above VWAP, and it's held a double bottom from the last 2 days. So I'm not saying it's disconnected from what you're seeing in Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is trending down. Everything in crypto is trending down. This held the low this morning and is consolidating. So this makes this last push up here in Robinhood look a little bit better. Still, again, like the real buys have been 75 to 80. That's where the true support has been. But this now looks much better, higher support there on Robinhood. Like we get a crypto relief day, I'm going to be looking. Is a big if because Bitcoin really sucks today. But if it comes in tomorrow not looking like a piece of trash, then Robinhood through this little break, like high of the day, and then call it like an afternoon support level, but 89.5 or maybe a 90 break. That's a good place to look for some longs. It does require IBIT to not suck. Like look at this chart. Like I don't like that breakout so much if IBIT just looks like gap down and trend all day trash like it has been, for sure. DFS Blockman, would it be smart to start loading up on IBIT?
yes, very, very smart.
I have not been, like basically
sarcastic.
No, but the entirety of the year, I've been waiting for 50. Like I've had the same chart up, and anytime it's like, well, where do you think Bitcoin is headed? Well, I got this support level that, when we broke the trend is where I think we're heading, and there's been nothing about the price action yet that has convinced me otherwise. So that's where I'm going to be the next time buying, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's like maybe late this year. I think it gets much better if you fall to the halving cycle. You're waiting until next year for that kind of a thing. But when you're this weak relative to the market, the way I see it is if the market does a major pullback, there's going to be a lot of good value stuff to buy without having to worry about Bitcoin. That's why I think it could end up being a late in the year, next year kind of idea in Bitcoin.
Just putting these back on our mics over there.
What did you call them?
Have we tried those mics yet, or we're just still on these ones?
Wind socks or dead cats?
Wind socks?
Or dead cat.
Yeah, a wind sock.
We have dead cat bounces. This is multiple things happening in the dead cat world.
Why would you call it a dead cat? That doesn't even make any
The fluffy one looks like a dead cat.
Okay, yeah, I know what the fluffy one you're talking about is over there. Hi ho, it's off to all-time highs we go. And it's Marvell again, so shout out to ASAP Rocky there in the chat as, it's just going here, 30% now for Marvell. I mean, it's been going, gone. And, when I woke up this morning and saw that it was up 25%, I tweeted that out. And it's been such a, like the financial situation of some of the accounts. And that's why I was talking about Bitcoin, just kind of like saying it sarcastically. Like now, just the fact that I've been forever long, most of the tech names, with many of us have been. Now Bitcoin, the fact that we're not like dipping into it, it's become such a small part of the portfolio that I'm actually debating getting a little bit more Bitcoin in and around some of these levels. So I don't think it's a horrible idea to think about getting some, just if you want to diversify a little bit. But I get nervous when someone says load it up or all my money or whatever it is. I don't think we need to do anything like that, Michael Saylor, into Bitcoin anytime soon. If anything, there's a couple quality names that may potentially be on sale. And again, it's just in my opinion. Like I think Amazon coming back into 250 is interesting for me, as well as they've got many different levers to be pulled with a huge moat around them as far as retail. I know Neil mentioned this morning getting into a little bit of Walmart. I think this name is in trouble for a minute now. I hope it gets out of trouble. Like honestly, this is the kind of name that you've seen it move like this. If you like the Bitcoin move, and
that's the wrong chart.
You want to buy, this is NASDAQ chart. But I don't really care about the chart. I'm just showing you guys that what the move it's been from in the last 2 weeks, right? Like no one's ever going to be smart enough to sell this thing. So what you want to try to do is try to pick it up. And right there, you're down 15% right now. So Bitcoin goes from 80 to 65, and you have a name like Walmart that has crazy amounts of revenues, stores literally all over the world, and doesn't seem to be going anywhere. And I think they can right the ship as well on their online stuff. Walmart right now getting rated as we speak, right? I mean, they had a huge PE. They're getting dumped. The same thing happened to Costco. So this name, if you've been sitting in this name all year and you haven't done anything with it, you get an opportunity right now to get it back to January. Well, it is back to January levels. So you've kind of been wasting.
I'll contrast that.
Not now. Just wait a second. Just right now here, you've been sitting, just to show you the difference between tech names and what's been happening in different spaces. It's just like Walmart doesn't have anything to do with technology the same way that those other companies do. So what winds up happening to Walmart is they get sort of left behind. So I think, down into around this area, and we can, call up a bigger chart for Walmart and have a longer look at it. But imagine being in Walmart for 6 months. That's why you have to be diversified a little bit, because we can just look at some of those other names and you'd feel silly sitting in Walmart. But again, as a part of your portfolio, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, we sat in IBM for a while and then it finally bumped up. You've seen Microsoft, sitting in that for a while.
I think there's two things. So the portfolio thing is an important one.
Yeah,
because if it pulls back this far, if you're fully allocated, that's a different story. Last year, at the beginning of the year, Walmart pulled back over 25%. And that was the top. Since this high, Walmart hasn't even, for it to pull back 25%, you'd be down here at $100. So the equivalent to the beginning of last year's pullback would be at $100. And on a monthly chart, the 50 periods at 77. On a weekly chart, the 50 periods at right here. That's why I was when people are what were you doing with Walmart? Well, I got a dip buy on this. Because I look at for myself, I'll speak about myself. The non-tech stocks that I can say I am more or less fully allocated. If they break trend, I have decisions to make. Are things like Caterpillar for me anyways. For Caterpillar, Eli Lilly, GE Vernova. Walmart's not yet in that group for me, but it is a stock that I'm actively dip buying. So I just look at when it gives you an opportunity, and the weekly just happened to get to this 50-period moving average. It is what it is. I don't know that. Whatever. If the 50 period had been a 120, I'd probably buy it there. I'm not that, I try not to get that complicated with it. And then the next level, I go out to the monthly, I'm is there another level out there? And after that, there's gonna be 80, probably 100. You get a couple of legs in, and then if I think I'm fully allocated, boom, then now I'm trying to hold it. There's a big difference between that and say, I have to use SMR as an example because it's the one that's on the front of the mind, than something like an SMR. This is a trend breakout trade that no matter what, when it goes parabolic, profit on the way up, and when it loses contain, to me, when a stock like this loses a 200-period moving average, there's 0% chance that I'm fully allocated in it. One of my picks for this year was more of a trade on AVAV. I got out of 100% of this stock when it lost. The chart's going to load in a second. The afternoon charts. I can't do anything about them. When it lost support under the 200-period moving average, so there's the beginning of the year, there's January. This is when it lost the support level from what I got in. Out. The stock went from $240 to $400, and they don't make money. They don't make money. We're back in now because it held a 50-period moving average. Finally, it's
I think that's the problem.
May 20th, it finally came back in. So you've got to be able to and this is why every single time it comes up, I'm going to tell you what I did with my money in it. Because to me, that's the only fair way to play it.
Right.
There's
So remember, these picks were made on Jan 12th.
Well, yeah, but I also told everybody I made this pick at the beginning of the year.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Like I'm in Big Bear AI. But at January 12th.
I bought this stock at the beginning of the year. This is what I'm doing with it. This is what I did with it. Yeah. Because to me, games are games, and they're fun, but if I'm in the stock for real and putting money towards it, I'm not going to sit there and say anything other than what I am doing on the stock. If this stock was up a bajillion % and I was out of all of it, you would not see me clapping and all that kind of nonsense. It's just, it's like, what's the point?
No, I'm the same way. I mean, here's Big Bear AI.
Trade.
You know, down there. And this is why I don't even want to do this anymore, honestly, these contests, because it's like, you know, on January 12th, we all made our picks. And as Neil's saying, you know, we have the ability to get in and out of them whenever you want to, right? So it's very, very tough to figure this all out. There's Mateo right there, down. There's Neil, Fabian. Yeah, that was the dollar store play there. So down 10% there. Sharif with a couple good plays as well. And yeah, we're now starting to do some damage right here. 75% up. And our picks are pretty simple. I mean, it's just this. It's really all Marvell. I mean, last year, we had, and again, you know, just to use that logic there, I'm in Marvell at $60, right? So this should actually be much higher than where it is now. But I've also sold some Marvell on the way back over. So yeah, just be careful with the picks that you're doing and what you're talking about, because, you know, a lot of these plays were just part of that picks on the 12th of January, not necessarily in our accounts. So
big spike on
yeah, people were saying something about Tesla there. So yeah,
maybe just technical. Adara says no news on Tesla. It might have just bounced off 420. I hate to. It is what it is. Sometimes VWAP meets trend break, meets 420, meets Tesla, and the buyers come in the afternoon. Why not? So that's back at the high. Tesla, great day for Tesla. If we're being real, this is exactly what you wanted to see on a dip. See how it's putting in higher lows on Tesla? And I think we had said, well, we're passing the baton like Apple to Alphabet, Amazon, blah, 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 the Mag 7, who's the next one to make the highs? NVIDIA. Well, Tesla had that look, got close, didn't make it, but it's still putting in some higher lows. And another bounce here, holding the 200 period moving average. This gets bullish tomorrow for me on Tesla. Didn't like it today for a trade, because I'm long biased in Tesla, and it didn't look like a long today. Like there's been some days on the way up that it's looked good, but this looks better. Now you've got the hold the 420, breakout tomorrow, gap to fill. This could be a 425-ish break. This will be in play tomorrow. Robinhood, if crypto doesn't suck, then Robinhood looks pretty good tomorrow. But why not? And 3 minutes to go till imbalances. If anything had changed on the early looks, I'd let you know. But it's still CNQ, BAC, ALIT, whatever that is. Snapchat, 1.5 to the buy side. FXI showed up here, 1.3 million sell. That's interesting because BABA was up 6 points today. Did that hold? Did BABA hold the gains? Probably, kind of. Still up 5% on Alibaba. Good day for them. I don't think there was a particular story out of China. Maybe just a relief rally for these beaten up Chinese ADRs. Well, Randy was all excited about NIO because NIO had good deliveries. So that's actually looking a lot better than the other Chinese EVs.
I am a little bit nervous about the Chinese names. I mean, I've been in and out of Alibaba, and I bought it at 160 and sold it at 160, but still have some Alibaba. I don't know what to do with some of these as we go. We just talked about Big Bear AI. I mean, it had to move up yesterday into 550, down 5% today. So Big Bear AI, this is another name that we just throw caution to the wind, right? I mean, there it is right there. So, you know, breaking back down through the 200 period moving average after spending 1 day above it. It's not, you know, again, talking about names that potentially aren't making any money. Well, here's another one with Big Bear AI. So you got to watch out for that one there as well. I am trying to actually, I had a bid at 195 on AVAV, but I don't think I put it out for very long. So if it went down there most recently, I should have kept it there. We might have got filled. We had it on that break right there, and then it came back in. And then this day was a couple days ago right here. That's when we put the bid, but it was already above it and never came back in. It opened in the pre-market. Like our charts aren't.
I have a new rule about that because I've been missing too many of those types of buys just for myself personally. So if I like that whole like 50 period and then you're like, oh, well, do you chase it? The day that it closes above, so here, I'll just show you. So this is the day that it closed above. That's the 27th. Just want to be able to show the 15-minute chart with context. See this day? Like that's the day that it gives the confirmation. if I can't get this, then I just buy the open the next day. It's like really, if I'm going to miss out on a couple of percentage points on the move, when really it doesn't matter if I get 191 or 200, if I'm playing it to 260 with like a 176, like at some point I just get way too picky with things. Like the other day, like on ARM, I was sitting in front of $200 and just said, well, whatever, I'll just buy 204s. Like imagine I just sat at 200 and didn't move the bid. I'd be kicking myself. The stock's at $400. Like who cares if you miss a couple of dollars?
It's like Iran.
You don't chase NEO by $2 unless you're crazy, because it's a $5 stock. But a $200 stock, who cares? Just take what you can get. There's a bounce happening somewhat in the market, but Bitcoin is catching a bit. This is going to make the Robinhood trade look better if this doesn't close looking so bad. But IBIT is off the lows. It's down 6% and still stinks. Robinhood, I think this is a break tomorrow on any strength in crypto. Specifically 89.5.
Imbalances are out. We're now $2.50 in the money right here on Google. So we just took some profit there as this just came out. I don't even have the imbalances up. Here we go here. So CNQ on here as well. I'm going to actually activate this filter so we only see the ones that are live right now. FXI, so there we go. We just talked about China. Again, that's making a move, I guess, one way today. Up 3%. So yeah, there must be some kind of Chinese
It just went
story
up on the sell imbalance.
Ooh, look at this. Marvell with a sell imbalance. And this is what, you can't keep Marvell down on a sell imbalance, my guy. But there it is, moved down now. And there's the easy peasy. Normally we get the totals at this time, but thanks to easy peasy right there. Wow. SanDisk, man. I mean, yeah, what a good one there. Phone bill, 2G flat down. Don't worry about it. My account handles that. Yeah. So there's a nice little quote there for one of the greatest of all time, of course. Too bad Puff Daddy had him murdered. All right, market buy 156 million versus the NQ. So it's not a huge opportunity there. Yeah, Marvell bouncing, and thanks Easy Peasy, and congratulations, man. That's a huge trade there on SanDisk. Anytime where we talk about that, you're making $2,000 on a trade or on a day, like that is really serious money. And I think that you guys got to keep that in mind sometimes when we talk about like how much money traders are actually making, right? I mean, we have a great community where for some reason, we have losing traders and winning traders, but it is tough to put it all together. I'm gonna show you right now what the top traders, what's up, Brandon? And he's on vacation, so he won't be part of this list, nor does he really trade anymore. So, but here it is right here. This is the top traders at Real Trading from yesterday. So shout out to Easy Peasy. Not that he's with us, but just showing you about some numbers there. 14,000, and we saw 230,000 on imbalances. That's why I was telling you, like, these numbers are fine, and they're great. I mean, if you can average anywhere on this list at any time, you're doing quite well. But that's not necessarily the average that these guys make. This is one day. We saw on those imbalances that were huge. I wasn't here. We saw people making multiple 200,000, 70,000, 80,000, 90,000.
And for the record, I've never seen.
There's blue ocean.
I've never seen look, maybe it exists, but I've never seen a single day risk stop loss in the 5 figures.
Oh no, that person's stop loss is probably 5.
That's what I'm saying. Like a single day stop loss at Real Trading. In all of our experience, because I don't think we haven't seen it. I've seen 5, maybe 6. I've never seen 10, 15. But at the close, it gets very binary because it happens so fast. Like you can make a ridiculous amount on that, or like the IPO with a really tight stop because it all just happens so quickly. The Birdman, you broke 400%. Congratulations on the port for the year. I've learned so much from you guys and can attribute much of the success I've had to watching Trader TV Live. If your port isn't up 200% on the year, you're not watching enough Trader TV.
Thank you.
I wish I was all in ARM, then I could say some stuff like that. But
I know.
I love ARM. It's been great for me, but
that's why
I'm way too diversified.
This is why I was showing this. Like we were supposed to be diversified. Like that's why I wanted to show this. Like this is starting from the year. This is Jan 12th, right? So I don't know where. Obviously, you're maybe starting Jan 1, but like look at our average returns right here, 8%. So it's kind of like although there's many names that are tough to get involved with, it does depend on what you're invested in, right? So we want to say a shout out to everybody, and you can't be up 400% unless you're not. Yeah, 8% it was a portfolio average. what would you say, Fabian? Doesn't matter. But anyways, there we go. So right now, we're at $3 in the money on Google. So we're going to put another bid out right there and capture this one. You know, what should have been the trade of the day was all of this short. But of course, we get stopped out, and now there it goes, bleeding to the downside. So a good recovery there. The only trade I have all afternoon is this. So it's been an absolutely darling of an afternoon. And, you know, now we just continue to watch. Okay, so now we don't feel as bad about what happened earlier as there it goes. Now we are now $4. Oh, my gosh. We are now $4 in the money there as it's a face slapper one more time there for Google. And I hope that some of you guys and girls and theys had put this on. Right there. So this is the short here into the afternoon on Google, just off VWAP. That's VWAP breaking, and there it is to the downside. No real news specifically for Google. If anything, look what the market's doing. Right, the market's actually going higher right now. So, you know, maybe a good turnaround story might be sell some of the NASDAQ, you know, buy some of these names if you wanted a quick little turnaround for a trade. But I think Google is going to be in trouble for a minute. You know, I don't know if they liked that raise there yesterday. But, yeah, you know, no share buybacks happening in the last 10 minutes. So
Tell that to Apple.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Apple's just buying up.
Apple's had a share buyback since I was a kid. But, yeah, they're still going here. 46 years young, I am. But there it is right there, 315 for Apple. Yeah, so there's a nice move down, right? It just lost about a buck there, and then it reverses on, I guess, an imbalance reversal, right? I mean, Ethereum, Snapchat, SMR. There's SMR again. I don't see Apple on there. But, oh, Marvell's now a buy. Oh, my God.
That's the flip trade.
There it goes right now. We're only up 260% on the year on this trade. But, yeah, there's Marvell. Wow, that's a good one. I can't believe I sold some of that at 218 just a couple days ago. That's absolutely insane. Maybe I should be right back into this on the sell side. Marvell, 290. Will we get 300? I said tomorrow. That poll was for end of the week.
I don't think we left it. Well, the end of the week was, I don't know. It should have been end of the day or tomorrow. I don't think we should have done it for the end of the week. It was like 80%. 80% of the voters said by the end of the week. Because it's only Tuesday, man. Like if it was Thursday, that'd be fine. But
we're just spoiled with the market always going up. Like what if the NASDAQ is down 2% tomorrow? Marvell could be down 10%.
Definitely could, but I think in an upward market, if you're that close to a level, you just sort of take it. And again, not everything is going to be up.
I kind of want to get out of some.
For sure. Is APTV, Matt's asking on the imbalances. I didn't see it. Like I can sort alphabetically for you there. When it finally gets to it, I can sort alphabetically. He said APTV. Now I'm just checking. Realistically, it's so annoying. I could use another way to do this. APTV. I think I just saw it. Yeah, small buy on APTV, 100,000 shares if you happen to be interested, but nothing crazy. You remember, you can get moves on the imbalances without there being a huge number if liquidity is low enough on the stock. Right, like a couple 100,000 if it hasn't done a lot of volume, or 500,000 if the volume's relatively light. It's all relative to the amount of liquidity that's what's going to move it. This is a bad sign for that Bitcoin. Even in the rally at the end of the day, holds the afternoon trend. If it wasn't so late in the day, you just slap a trend line on it. And if it holds, I take a lot of trend breaks, but the one thing that I found, sometimes when you're sitting there waiting for a trend to break, and I'll use this example of why I was doing the BMNR. It was like SoFi. Like at one point this morning, I'm like, okay, SoFi is holding up better. All it has to do is break the trend. Or just like anything crypto related or fintech, you just shorted every single pop. It gave you plenty of chances. So that's what you got to do. Sometimes the trend is your friend. And by default, I'll come in thinking Bitcoin is a short tomorrow as well. And one day it's going to lose. Today is not that day. I think two bullish places that we've identified outside of the obvious of Apple. Tesla stands out as a potential long tomorrow, just given all of the strength that it's got going on here. Love the hold of the 200 period moving average, 2 points into a flat market, holds a price over 420 for whatever that's worth to anybody. I think sometimes on Tesla that kind of a thing matters, and plenty of room to go. Like you got resistance at 440, and a 425 break is sitting in here. So I like some Tesla tomorrow, barring any not bad news. And Marlon, the expected move on Pan W.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's right. Shoot. Dara, what's the expected move on Pan W?
I'll check right now.
We'll get that one too, because off the top of my head, I mean, I can quickly go to, I think one of these sites that I follow up here probably has it. This says 12.5, so I see 12.5 at one source.
Here's
Yeah, I
what's-
also have 12.5. You also have GitLab with a, I'm not seeing one on GitLab, which is interesting. And the other one that we have tonight after the bell is ULTA.
I have it all right here.
10.8%.
Okay, so there's Ulta, Beauty, again, retail. We talked about Walmart, the struggle bus there. We'll have to wait to see what happens with Ulta Beauty tonight. Palo Alto as well getting hit. It was getting hit today. I shouldn't say it still is. I mean, wow. I think there's a better chance, better than 80% chance Marvell's over $300 the next time you see me. All right, Pan W, which is tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Pan W right there, 297. No, I think it's back upside. Still down 1% there, Palo Alto. But what a marker that's had, man. I mean, that's been an absolute
The charts are stupid.
ripper there. Shout out to Joe. I think Joe and I with CrowdStrike and Marvell, those are the two bangers in that space there. He has CrowdStrike tomorrow night, so we'll wait to see what CrowdStrike is doing. Sharif has Broadcom, so that's going to be a big one there tomorrow. DocuSign, I still think that with AI, DocuSign can do something. All right, we are now 15 seconds away from the close of the market. We'll wait to see if Palo Alto comes out immediately. We can watch it, but right now it is a downside move. We're going to get out of this one with only a couple seconds left, and there it goes, man. Good trading on Google to end the day. $4 right there. We'll take it. 2 and 1. The NASDAQ. All right, man, 0.5%. So that's, again, man, another win. So we'll say props up to those that are long and those that are short. I mean, there's been good opportunities today to do a little bit of both of that, depending on what you're looking at. And even NVIDIA did not get going today, I don't think, unless it did right. No, it did not. Right at the end. I mean, it touched down to 221. Ooh. Look at the market. All-time highs today, NASDAQ and NVIDIA down, right? Led by, and you would have thought, honestly, I think it's it's funny because the NASDAQ's not really a broader market, but with Apple up, I mean, what was Apple even up today? 2%? They didn't, 3%. So Apple and Microsoft, both similar weightings. I mean, obviously with Microsoft being the downside, the weighting's not as aggressive as Apple, but that's been a move downside there. And the market still, including the ES, upside there today. So I hope it was a good trade for everybody. And you mentioned 66666. Well, we're a little higher than that right now on Bitcoin.
I mean, it's probably not a thing, but
no, I don't think
there was a buyer there.
Too hard to make that stop.
No, I can imagine it was a thing. Is GitLab even out? Nah. If it is, no one cares. Sorry, someone just said GitLab. If it's out, then it's not moving. Palo Alto, I mean, Pan W's moving. I haven't heard the numbers on that yet, but it is moving to the upside here for what it's worth. Pan W through 300, so maybe like 1%. I feel like if it was out, it'd be moving more than this. Maybe a fat finger.
You said it was 12, right? Or was that
12.5% is expected?
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's not out yet, and someone's just fat fingering or.
No, it's definitely not out yet. I mean, we were down 1% or 2% into this move, so it's just
nothing.
Just back a little bit here. We'll wait to see if Palo Alto does anything. Oh, there it is, 301. No, not yet. The thing is, a lot of these moves. Remember, Marvell day after its earnings was down 5 or 6%, you know, and now you can see it's going to be approaching $300 tomorrow. Is Marvell, and it's actually there right now. Okay, man. I mean, a good show overall. Texas Instruments announces a new CFO. I don't think that's anything to do with anything there, but yeah, we could go on forever and ever, but we're not going to because we got to get out of here. So why don't we wrap this thing up?
Yes, let's wrap it up. It'll be a fun one tomorrow. Can't promise it'll be something up 30%, but heck, we've had every other day for the last week. There's been like something up 30%, like a big one. So maybe Palo Alto or.
If Palo Alto's up 30%, man, I don't think Sharif and I will be here, but
I'll be very, very pleased.
Yeah, that would be quite. There's HP. They were up 30% at one point today, and
Snowflake.
There's the pullback. Snowflake as well. Wow,
we already forgot about that. It was only a week ago.
And Dell. Did Snowflake pull back at all? At least let's see what Snowflake, and then we'll let you guys go. I'm still kind of delaying to see if Pan W comes out.
It's moving more now.
Okay, Snowflake a little bit of a pullback. Yeah. So, but Snowflake came from here. What a breakout Snow had. And actually, shout out to Brian. He talked a little bit about Snowflake as well. Palo Alto, no idea when this thing comes out, but there's 304. It's now up 3%. It closed minus 2%. We don't have it out yet. If we did, we would be, yelling about it. There's Texas Instruments, new CFO. I don't know, just some interesting things there, ticking downside from 308 down to 303. So, yeah, all right, man. Good show today. Adara, everybody, Sia no longer here. She said Sia, she's gone. But shout out to Ramin, Andre, Fabian, and Adara, and Brian Shannon.
And we will see you guys at 8 a.m. going over all the earnings and all the movers, and hopefully a better day in the crypto markets and a good one for Pan W and all those cybersecurity fans out there. Bright and early, we're Trader TV Live. Get some rest. It's going to be another wild one.
Man, gotta get some rest tonight.
What's with this thing?
That's true.